She's
Ooh,
so
that
official.
sounded official.
That means smart. Like she's got like a whip.
I love it.
So welcome you guys. We are on the last class of the third weekend of Art Venture. This is class number, what is it, 8? Yeah.
27? I don't know. It's been a lot.
Class number 642. Yeah. Exciting. And we are totally happy to have Chelsea Evans, Apple Blossom Way. You're going to teach us how to paint the leather and salve the leather, which is just, well, I don't know what I'm doing here. I'm wax on, wax off hands.
You know what? That's actually kind of what you do. So I feel like you're on point.
Okay.
I love it.
So please, Chelsea, thank you for joining us, and please take it away.
Okay, I'll do it. Are you guys ready? I am so excited to be here with you today. I've been waiting for like a lot of months, since November, to be able to teach this class with you. And we're finally here and we can paint purses together. So I am going to take a minute to introduce myself, to talk about what we're doing, to try and make myself look like I keep turning yellow. I'm really sorry. I have your comments on my screen over here so I can look at them and answer any questions you guys have, and I will make sure I kind of toggle back and forth. Can you guys, yeah, Maggie just walked past. Maggie and Poe might walk past. So first of all, my name is Chelsea Evans and my business is Apple Blossom Way. I had a previous furniture business with a friend, went back to work, and when we purchased our home, I decided it was time to start painting and doing what I love again. And so I did. And I sat for 3 days and I brainstormed trying to figure out what I was going to name my business. And I had no clue. And finally I thought it doesn't have to be something that has like furniture or flip or a refinished term in it. And I went and sat on my porch and the sun was setting. It was so beautiful. And I thought, I really, really love my life here in Apple Blossom Way. And I thought, that's it. That's the name I want, Apple Blossom Way. So that's what I named my business. So we live here in Apple Blossom Way. I have 3 boys and I have 2 golden doodles, Maggie and Poe, and they are sometimes show up in my videos. And we love it here. It's wonderful. I love teaching. I love painting and creating, being creative. I finally decided to teach my first class a few years ago. And I felt very inadequate and I was very nervous, but I had a lot of support, so I did it anyway. And people liked it. People actually joined and they liked it. So I decided to keep doing it. And I'm really, really glad that I did. I enjoy what I do. And I like seeing other people blossom and grow from what I'm able to teach them. And I think that's a really, really beautiful thing. So I'm excited to be here with you today. We are going to be painting purses, as you know. And oh, thank you so much, Terry. Yeah, it is special. It's close to my heart. So we're going to paint purses. And we do have the purse that I originally designed. So you can see the metallics here, which is super cool. A little bit of the Iron Gate chalk paste. On the back, I did add some stamps. So I added IOX ABW, which means iron oxide, which is the paint, one of the paint colors we're going to be using. I created it, and Wiesel now sells it. I love that rust color, and ABW for Apple Blossom Way. So you can add some cool things to your purse if you want to get stamps. They're really fun, or stencils. I won't be showing you that today, but I have it on there and I thought I would show you because it's kind of fun to add something more personal to your purse. All right. So we are going to start with the basics of this purse. I'm going to show you everything that's in the package or the kit that you received. And then I'm going to show you how to paint this purse. And I'm also going to show you another technique. So this was a Harley, can you guys see that Harley Davidson? So this is a Prima purse. I bought some things from Harley Davidson, added them to it, made kind of like a rusty finish with another Harley pin. So you can do some really cool, unique, and personalized things with these purses. And I'm going to show you other techniques besides just this one here. Now you can also take these techniques and you can use them on furniture, you can use them on walls, you can use them on pillows, really anything. So that's the fun thing. I'll talk to you a little bit about the difference between painting leather and painting a fabric if you have a fabric you want to paint instead. So we'll kind of go from there. And then, like I said, feel free to ask questions and I will answer them as we go. All right, so in your kit, you should have received a purse. Which one did you guys get? Did you get the smaller one? It's kind of like over the shoulder, cross body bag, like this. Or did you get the larger one that has the strap? So either one, they're both really beautiful. The big one, large one. Okay, so I might paint both of them. We'll kind of see. Either way, you should have one or the other. And if you guys have any other purses or anything else, I'm going to be showing you some different techniques. While we're waiting for paint to dry, I'm going to kind of switch to another technique and process. So if you have any other purses, bags, shoes, anything like that, or even a piece of paper or canvas that you would like to try this on, and you have any additional paints, you can do this with me. Otherwise, you can just watch while I demonstrate these other techniques and just do the purse with me. And later on, you can come back and you can try these other techniques on different pieces or furniture. So just so you know, that's an option. So I'm going to show you what I have out here sitting to help me with my project today. And you can have that as well. I have my purse, like I showed you. I do have a pack of rad pads from Surf Prep Sanding. I believe they sent each of you a blue pad. Do each of you have a blue pad for your travel purse? Oh, I love that. That's a great idea. Yes. So the blue pads, I believe, are what they sent to you for me to, or from Surf Prep. These are sanding pads. These are really awesome for projects, especially a purse project. In these packs come all different grits. So let me open it and show you. It has 2 of each color. And they're on a foam pad, so you guys can kind of feel yours. They're flexible and movable, which makes it ideal for a leather purse or anything that has detail. And they range from coarse to super fine, or medium to super fine. So the gray is medium, blue is fine. They have very fine and super fine. Okay, these are really great. And I do have a discount code for these as well. I believe that it was listed on the website. Yes, it's Apple Blossom 10. Is it on there? Okay.
It's on the list of coupons. Yep.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, so Apple Blossom 10 will give you 10% off. These are really great to have for small projects like this. And I'm going to leave this out because I'm going to use this today. So you should have a blue pad in there. Also, Surf Prep very graciously donated more sanding pads. So you see them behind me here? These packs. I don't know how to point. I'm going the wrong way. There. Surf Prep pads. And they donated a $25 gift card, which is really awesome. So I am going to just create a post in the Gather group, and then I'll have you enter, and we will give you some rad pads or the $25 gift card. You guys can go on there and spend it how you want. Cool?
Oh, cool.
They're pretty awesome. Yeah. So we have our Surf Prep pads. We have from ReDesign with Prima, we have the 2 stick and style stencils. One is the Modern Arrows and Leopard print. I'm going to show you how I applied it to the other purse, but you can use one, you can use both, or you don't even have to use them if you don't want to. You can use them on something else, which is really fun. The Iron Gate chalk paste for our leopard print, and the Sparks Chest of Gold. You're only going to use a tiny bit of each. You're going to have a ton. You're going to have a lot of product left over, which is cool. So you can, like I said, if you want to experiment with other purses or anything else while I'm showing you this, you should have enough product to be able to do that as well. Yeah, the Surf Prep's really awesome. So I'll have that. I also have a salve from Wise Owl, an 8-ounce salve that I'm going to throw in as well. So I'll create a post on there, and then you guys can all enter to either get the Surf Prep gift card pads or a Wise Owl salve. You can try it on things. All right, so that's what we have in our kit. We also have the Wise Owl paint, 1987. I have mine in FIFO bottles. This is a beautiful nude pink, which I love. Carbon, which is
what are those bottles? What are these bottles you're holding?
Oh, these are FIFO bottles.
What's that?
So FIFO bottles, so I store my paint in FIFO bottles. FIFO bottles are, they're actually like condiment bottles. People use them for ketchup and mustard, mayo, and things like that. But they are amazing for paint. You can find them on Amazon. Usually you can get a pack of 3 for like 10 bucks. And you just fill the paint in one end, screw it on. It's FIFO. Here, I'll type it in for you guys too. FIFO on Amazon. And then they store for a really long time. I store my paint, I store my glaze, and you can even store top coat in them as well. And then I just have a disposable plate, like a lunch plate, that I put my paint on. You don't have to use that. You can, I mean, you all receive the smaller containers of them. You can dip right into that. If you have more paint, you can use a regular plastic paint. Walmart has 99-cent plates that are plastic. They're awesome for pouring FIFO paint onto, and you can scrape them off and reuse them. I just grabbed this for today because they were at the dollar store for a pack of them. So they're nice to use for things like this. But I put my paint into FIFO bottles. I have the same colors as you, 1987, carbon, and iron oxide. So iron oxide is like a really cool rust. It's the color I developed for Wiesel paint. And it's really great for adding rust and just a little bit of accent to pieces. It doesn't dry up in the bottles, no, it works really, really well. The Sparks paint is called Chest of Gold. So you should have received Chest of Gold. If not, if you received a different one, it's fine. They're all
everyone should have it. I would be shocked if you don't have it. Yeah, Oriana, look around. Okay. You should have it. Everyone has the same color. Everyone has
yeah. So yeah, so the Sparks, Chest of Gold, metallic paint for this. All right, so and then I'm going to be using Klingon brushes. I know that you have chip brushes. If you have other brushes, that's great. I will talk to you about my Klingon brushes as we go. If you have questions, you can ask them, and you also can use that discount code for the Klingon brushes. Now Klingon, it is kind of a copper. It does look copper in the bottle. So it should say Chest of Gold on the front of it. It does look a little bit copper, but it's kind of like a copper, gold, and bronze mixture, truthfully. It's a really cool color. So I'll show you how I use it. You can use it any way you like. The Klingon brushes that I'm gonna open up new ones today to use. These are 2 of my favorite. I have many. I used to go through brushes like crazy, and when I used a Klingon brush, I said, I will never, ever use another brush. This is awesome. And I have brushes I've used for 2.5 years that I still use today. They are that good. They're worth every penny, completely worth it. I will never use another brush. They're awesome. So the reason why they're so great is the way that they're made. So this is called the ferrule right here. Now, Klingon brushes are filled with epoxy all the way up to the ferrule. So that means that they have an epoxy pour, which is like a thick epoxy paste, a filler that they put in that secures the bristles into that. So the bristles they don't shed or come out on you. They're not gonna fall out. So that's the #1 reason why I love it. And I love it because they're self-cleaning. So you can see how they're very densely packed, the bristles are. You can take them and suspend them in a glass of water. Usually I use like a potato chip bag clip. I'll suspend it in the water and it will drop the paint from it and self-clean. And I'll leave it in there and change the water a few times, rinse it out, and it's completely clean. And then I can reuse it. So these are any water-based products they're amazing with. That's why I love the Klingon. And they are a soft bristle, but they're stiff enough that you can still stipple without them really bending and things like that. Yeah, they're really cool. They really are. I've kind of made a commitment to myself that I won't sell or promote anything that I really don't love. And Klingon brushes, I think if I had to choose one thing to sell ever, it would be Klingon brushes and salve because they're both awesome. So if you haven't tried one, you need to try one, okay? All right, but if you don't have one, that's totally fine. It's something that you can choose in the future. Today, we're fine with that, either way. So I have my purse. I'm going to come to the salve later on. I'll go into more detail on the salve, how I apply it, and how it's going to protect your leather when we come to the finishing step. So I'm just going to set this aside for now, and then we can kind of get started on painting a little bit.
Can you spell Klingon? Klingon.
So it's CLI. I'll write it right here.
It's not Klingon like Star Trek? Okay.
I know. And you can find it on my website. There we go. Under brushes. And then you can use the discount code and get them for a little bit less today. So I'm gonna go ahead and unpackage my purse. You guys wanna do the same. Maybe you've already unpackaged yours. And first off, before we start, I don't want to shock all of you, but I'm going to cut off the strap because I don't love the strap. I love the purses, but I don't love the strap. If you love the strap, you leave it on. Don't cut it off. This is totally up to you. I don't love it. I love the rest of the purse. So I'm going to take my scissors and I am going to cut off the strap. It's a little bit tough with these scissors. I hope I can do it. There we go. Okay, I'm going to cut off the strap and I am going to place a new strap on. So you can decide what type of strap you want to do. They have these little tiny hooks. You can find these at Joann's or any other craft store. I think even like Walmart, somewhere like that would have them, a hardware store. They're just little clips like this. And then you can take these, you can clip them onto your purse like this, and you can put any type of strap you want. So you can go to a fabric store and you can get a piece of leather, you can get a rope, you can get a chain. Chains look really cool. A lot of hardware stores, Ace Hardware, Home Depot, Lowe's will have chains, and they actually have them on a roll and they'll cut them for you. So if you say, I want it 1.5 feet or however you want long you want your chain, they'll cut it for you. And then you're gonna take one of these clips just like this, hook it there, and then you're gonna hook it right onto your purse, okay? You don't have to do that. You can leave the original strap. It's totally up to you what you like. But, and sometimes maybe you want to leave the strap on and then paint it and look at the finish, and then you might want more of an industrial strap. You might want something that's more soft. So just kind of paint your purse and then think about what you want. And if you want to leave it, that's totally fine too. I'm just going to show you these things so you know you have options. Especially when you find, because maybe you'll get purses from ReDesign with Prima, or maybe you'll find purses or backpacks at a local thrift shop, and you might not like something about them. And so just know that you have options no matter what you decide to do. On the purses that I've done, what straps have I used? So I had some old luggage that I found at the thrift store, and it had a really cool strap on it. And so I just unhooked it, and it actually already had these on the end of the strap. So I just unhooked it from the bag and then I hooked it onto the new purse, and it was really cool. So if you can find something like that, that's ideal. Otherwise you have to be a little technical and make something new. So the techniques I'm going to show you can be used on different materials, but you will want to have, if you're using canvas or fabric, not leather, you'll want to use a squirt bottle. So I just have a fineness spray bottle here that I'll use in a little bit. And I use that for anything that's not leather. I'll spray it first and then I'll paint it over the top of it. Okay. So to start off, I've removed the strap. I'm going to remove the tags. And all of you should have a little leather tag on here. Yeah, I can do the larger bag, totally. So all of you will have a little leather, it says genuine leather. This came on the bag. I saved this and I used it on my purse to cover up the little metal tag that's here. I'm going to show you guys how to remove that tag if you don't want it and you just want to paint over it, or you can leave it, or you can remove it and then add the leather strap and add something to it if you want to. I have done that. I've also had, with my business logo, I've had little leather patches lasered. It says ABW Authentic. And I will glue those over the top here. And then I have a really cool leather bag as well.
That is really cute.
Yeah, with the logo. So this, I'll show you how to remove this and then we'll go on to the, and I can show them the bigger bag. I can paint both. So this is the piece here comes apart. It has the little tag here and it has a little metal piece that folds over and holds it in place. So if you want to remove that, you want your scissors. If you guys have scissors, I think most of you have scissors. You are going to want to take your scissors and just kind of go underneath. You might have to pull a little bit with your fingers. Sometimes a butter knife works really well, but don't be afraid to kind of pull on it a little bit. You can, like I said, you can use your finger, you can use a butter knife if you can get that under there, which would probably be smarter than scissors. I've undone several of these and some are easier than others. So the tag underneath is folded underneath the metal label. You kind of have to pull up on it on both sides. And it will pop out like that. Okay, mine actually came apart in one piece. So you can see the metal tag and the actual tag. But I've had it come where it comes apart totally. So you can pull this out after you pull off the tag. You don't have to do that if you want to, that's totally fine. There's going to be a little bit of hardness after you pull that off that is kind of like a plastic backing. So I just kind of push it until it flattens out. And then I can go ahead and paint over the top of that. So your bag's gonna look like, it'll just have two little tiny holes, okay? And you can cover that up with a label, paint it, whatever you want.
You go, girl, like muscle that piece apart.
Yes, it's like a giant brad. Yep, exactly. All right, so I pulled that one off, but I do have requests to start with the big purse. So I'm gonna start with the big one, and then we'll come back to the other one. And I'm gonna leave the strap on this one for now. And you guys can either leave the plastic on, so it has zippers, right? These little metal, or I'm sorry, leather tab zippers. You can leave the plastic coating on them. And then if your paint gets on it, it won't matter, or you can take it off if you want to paint them. So it's up to you. If you want to paint them or not, just kind of decide what you want to do and go from there. I'm going to remove this tab if I can. And then we'll go ahead and paint the large purse. Most of the purses are filled. I think your purses are filled with a paper stuffing.
Yeah. Okay, leave it stuffed. Can we leave it stuffed?
No, you can take, leave it stuffed for right now. I think it actually might be easier to leave it stuffed because it will stand better when you paint it.
Yeah.
Another thing I do have handy is a hairdryer. When I did this, you can do purses fairly quickly. If you have a hairdryer, you can just dry it in between. I'm going to go a little bit slower with you guys today, so I probably won't use it, but in the future, or if you're watching the replay and you want to use a hairdryer, you can totally use a hairdryer in between steps. Okay, all right, so I have my tag removed there. Let's paint it. Prep work for a purse. Nothing. It's ready. Unless you have grease or buildup, you want to clean it. If you have a brand new purse like the ones from ReDesign with Prima, you can go ahead and paint right on them. If you are picking up a purse from the thrift store, you have an old bag or something like that, I recommend cleaning it just to make sure there's no residue or oils on it that's going to repel the paint. And we want to promote adhesion. So we want to make sure it's clean. If you're using anything like that, make sure it's totally clean. Otherwise, if you have a Prima bag, we can start. Cool. So, exhausted. Go take a nap and come back, Carly. You can watch the replay. If you need to clean, if you're using an old bag, I recommend anything that's a degreaser. Don't use anything with like orange oil. Any oil cleaners, don't use that. You'll want to use something like crud cutter, just a good degreaser, and just kind of go over the top of it, or even just a thick sponge or a coarse rag and just really rub it so you get off any grease or anything like that. I am going to wear gloves. You don't have to wear gloves. But I'm going to be handling different purses, and I think it'll be easier for me. So the gloves that I use are nitrile gloves. They are black. They come in different colors. I really love the nitrile gloves because I can reuse them. They're very durable and stretchy. So they are going to rip or tear. Yes, you can use Dawn. So just use a rag and a little bit of Dawn and water and just rub it and clean it really well so it doesn't have any oil residue, and then you go ahead and paint it for sure.
It's not a big deal if you can't get the tag off. I'm not even going to try. I stabbed mine, so
you don't have to. You can say, like on this one that I demoed for you guys, I did not remove the tag. I left the tag on. And I just took my leather patch, the genuine leather, I flipped it over so it was coarse leather, and I glued it on with, I'll show you the tack glue I use. I glued it on, and then when I salved it, I salved over the top of it to darken it. And I really like the look of that. So if it's not coming off, it's okay. You can cover it up, or you can leave it and paint over it. It's okay that way too. Don't feel like you have to do it. I just wanted to show you if you want to remove it, you can. But yes. it is different. It's kind of stingy. Hot pink. I have to see that. I use screwdriver's a good idea too. Okay, so I am going to show you the colors that I used on this bag, but you have equal amounts of color in all three of the colors that were sent out to you. 3. So you don't have to paint it this way if you don't want to. I cannot wait until we're done at the end to see what you guys create, because the last live I watched was amazing, and all the projects at the end were like, they were so cool. So I'm going to show you how to do it this way, but you don't have to. You do it however you want with whatever color combo you want to do, but I'll show you this, okay? All right. So first things first, let's grab a brush. And we are going to grab 1987. So 1987 is the nude pink color. And we're going to use it right here in the center over this middle section, okay? So it should be in your little jar. You guys can dip right into the jar. I am going to just put a little bit on that. And I'm going to use my S50 Klingon brush. It's called an S50 because it has a short handle. It's a short handled Klingon brush. They do have the same style with a longer handle. I really like the short handle because I like the way that it fits in my hand. And I'm just going to use just a little bit. You don't want to put too much. If you do thinner coats, it will adhere better, it will dry faster, and you'll be able to put your second coat on sooner. So we will go ahead and I'm not going to tape off because we can be more precise on our carbon layer. So for this one, I'm just going to go ahead and just take your brush and just go right over top of the middle section. And you can be a little bit more careful on the edges so that it doesn't go over the top. But if it does, it's okay because you still have another color to go. So don't be, really you're just being careful to preserve paint, not to control the finished look of it right now. And I'll kind of cross hatch, which basically means I'm gonna go vertical and horizontal to make sure that I fill all of the leather in. Leather isn't as porous as like cotton or another fabric, but it does have a texture, and you want to make sure you get your paint all in. So I'm just going to cross hatch like that. And then you can see it's pretty good coverage. I mean, for one coat, my fingers rubbed up, but it's got really nice coverage. 1987, yes.
Chelsea, is this acrylic paint?
No, this is chalk synthesis paint. So it's like a mineral paint that we're using. It's flexible. It's really easy to blend. It's a really great artistic paint to use. And it has really great adhesion because it has open pore space or open pore surface. So it's going to adhere and kind of cling on and hold on to whatever you're painting better than a latex paint would. And then you guys, if you still have your stuffing in, leave it in. It will help to stand up your purse, and you're just gonna go all the way around it and paint all of this lighter color in here. And like I said, if you want to use a different color, if you want to put iron oxide or carbon on this and do opposite, you do it. Whatever makes you happy and what you love, then you do it. Okay. It will dry fairly fast. Like I said, I do have other things to show you and paint in between. And I'm gonna get a little bit on the bottom. That's okay. So it's fine. Now I have a zipper here. It's up to you if you want to cover the zipper or not. Either way, it will be okay unless you put it on really, really thick. Then it might not be. But I am just gonna, if my brush hits it a little bit, it's okay. I'm okay with that. So it's totally up to you if you want to keep that really nice and crisp, or you're okay with it getting a little bit on it.
If they want to keep it nice and crisp, would you suggest they tape it off?
Yes, but we're going to be using different colors. So if you like this color up top, if you like the brown color and you don't want to paint it, you want it to be brown, tape it off. If you're okay with painting it carbon, don't worry about taping it off because you're going to paint over that, and we'll be much more careful on this edge. And I'll show you how to be more careful. So you can kind of decide what you want to do. But I'm not taping it off because I'm going to kind of show you a technique that will help you to do edges. And actually, it's the same technique that I use when painting walls in my home. I don't ever use painter's tape. I never ever use painter's tape.
Shut your mouth.
I hate painter's tape. I hate it. It's a waste of time. So I'm going to teach you. Huh? I
can't wait.
Yes, I'm going to teach you a technique so you can use painter's tape, or so you can paint without painter's tape. I'm also going to paint the bottom of this purse with the 1987. You can paint it with 1987, or you can paint it with a carbon or whatever you'd like. But I'm going to go ahead and paint it with the same color. So it's up to you.
So basically they need to put a base coat on the whole purse?
Yep, or the whole lighter color, or just the middle section, depending on what look you guys want to do. And like I said, it can be 1987, or you can choose either one of the other colors. But this is my base coat. That's one coat coverage, and that's my 1987. And you can see where it's still wet and where it started to dry. So it dries fairly quickly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set this aside. If you have different brushes, you can put these in a plastic bag to keep them nice and moist, and you can rotate. If you only have one brush, you can just rinse it and just dry it with a paper towel and try something different. I'm going to set this aside, and I'm going to put another base coat on another purse, and then I think this will be dried by the time I come back to it. Cool?
Perfect.
Okay. I had my hair dryer and I thought, well, we could dry it, but I thought, you know what, it'd be more fun to show them different things. So I'm going to do that instead.
I think most of them have a heat gun, so they could dry it while you're showing the goodies.
Okay, cool. Yeah, if you guys want to do that, if you want to dry yours, you can. I'm going to set mine aside, and I'm going to paint my other purse another color combination, and then you guys can kind of see the difference of what a different color combination would look like. So I'm going to paint the base iron oxide, which is that rich rusty brown. And I'll use the same brush I used before, the clean on the S50. Don't paint it on too thick. You just want to do thin coats, okay? And it's pretty similar to this color that's already on there, but it's a little different. So when we distress it, it's that a little bit darker brown is going to show through, which I think will be really cool. So you can see how like I'm kind of like rubbing my brush onto the leather. Leather is not going to soak up your paint the way a canvas or cloth would. So if you're working with a canvas or cloth, this is what you want to do. You want to work it in, you want to do thin coats, and you want to spray in between coats with water. That way you're kind of working the paint into the fibers of the material, and it's more like you're staining it instead of painting on top of it. That way you'll have a really nice smooth finish, a chair or a pillow that you can actually use and like, and it won't be crunchy or hard. If you just paint thick layers on top of that, you're gonna have a crunchy, hard finish, and you're gonna hate whatever you painted. So I will use a very similar technique.
So you are spraying with water?
When I paint fabric or like a canvas material, I do. When I paint leather, I don't.
Okay.
So that's the difference between the two.
And they want to know why you're not wearing an apron. You're stressing people out. Just kidding.
Oh, well, you know what? I paint every day. And so I have my painting clothes and I have my regular clothes. And I try to keep them separate, and sometimes they commingle. So we just have clothes dedicated for going out that aren't painted in, and then we have clothes that I paint in.
Oh my God. Perfect.
So if I was doing a really large project, a wall, a large dresser or something, I would wear all paint clothes. But we're just painting purses, so I'm not aproned up. Is that weird? Is it like when like my husband's a nurse, he wears scrubs. Maybe it would be weird if a nurse came out and wasn't wearing scrubs. I didn't think about that. That's a good point.
I think it's more like, are you going to get that all over yourself? And how good are you that you're not getting it all over yourself?
Well, I am going to get it all over myself. That's a given, especially for me. But like I said, I kind of have I keep them separate. And it's not that I spend a ton of money on my clothes. I buy a lot of thrift store clothes, so I don't feel as bad.
Yeah, there you go. It'll look cute, and it's okay if you get paint on it.
Yes, exactly. Okay, so this one, our base is iron oxide. Okay, you can see if it's shiny, it's not dry. If it's very matte, then it's dry. Okay, so I'm going to set this one aside, and we will come back to our main project. And let's see how dry we are. Are your purses dry? Are you guys ready to add a little more paint to the top and bottom?
Were they supposed to also paint the bottom if they were going to do the bottom black?
No, they'll paint it carbon if they want to.
Okay.
And if you already painted it, the one, it's okay. Don't sweat it. It'll paint right over the top of it. You should have it up. Still painting, dry.
So why don't you go ahead and move on, because we want to make sure we get through all this good stuff, and they can just slowly catch up. If you get anywhere crazy, we'll stop you.
Hey, I can do that. All right, so I'm just gonna pour out a little bit of carbon. Carbon is the other color we have from Weisel. I love carbon. It is such a beautiful color. It's a great mix of a dark charcoal, but it has a little bit of a hint of a blue navy undertone, and it kind of depends on what light you're in, but it looks really, really great with these colors. And I feel like it's kind of a modern feel. I've seen a lot of cabinets in like this nude pink with a carbon mixture, and it's so pretty. So for the purse that I'm demonstrating, we're gonna go ahead and paint the top in carbon. And the great part about this, especially, I think everyone's purses are this color, right? Are they the dark brown with the tan?
They should be, I believe.
Okay. So you do not have to cover it 100%, because we're going to distress it and let some of that brown show through. So we just want to kind of cover it enough. Now I'm using an S50 Klingon brush now. It's a smaller version of the one I used before, and I am going to be very careful. So you can see my edge, I didn't tape it. I'm going to take my brush like this. I've only dipped paint on the very end of it, okay? And I'm going to, no, only one coat. I only have one coat on the main part right now. I'm going to take this and I'm just going to very carefully push it into the edge, and then I'm just going to pull my brush really slowly and kind of let that bead of paint roll down the front side. And then I'm going to continue on just slowly and carefully so I don't have to tape. So this is what I do with walls when I paint walls. I just put a little bit on the tip, just a little bit, and then I just very carefully, I start a little bit above the edge, and then I push down to the edge and just very carefully go over the edge. And that is going to give me a really nice crisp edge, and I don't have to deal with tape. It does take a little more patience. I'm not a very patient person, but I would rather be patient in paint than be patient in tape.
Okay, so Regina said that her carbon paint is solid in the jar. So I think what has happened is that some of you guys are in a climate where the paint has frozen on the way to you. Chelsea, have you ever had that experience?
Yeah, so if your paint is solid, that means it was frozen. So either during shipping, if it was left out at all in cold temperatures, then it can affect that. And as we are in winter, I can see that happening. And so if your carbon isn't going to work, you can try using your other colors, or you can message me and let's see what we can do to remedy the situation. But typically the only reason why that will happen is if it freezes, because it is a mineral paint and it does react to temperature that way. So you can shoot me a message and we can figure something out. I can help you out, okay? That's the only tricky thing about paint, is you have to be, as they do react to the temperatures.
Yeah.
Now I have this little tag. I can leave it this color, or I can paint it. I'm just gonna go ahead and paint over it. And it's up to you. You can leave it if you like the variation. I'm gonna paint it and then I'll distress it and let some of that natural tan color come through. So I'm not as careful. I let the paint go onto my metal. I let the paint go onto the zipper because I know it's gonna be pretty easy to remove the paint from the metal. So I can take a wet cloth later and just really rub it and it will come off of that metal or zipper part. Yes, you can. As long as it's like a mineral or chalk-based paint, then it will do well. Yeah, it probably got frozen, it sounds like. As long as it's a mineral or chalk-based paint, then you'll be able to use it. You can also use a fabric paint, but I really like the way that the Wiesel paint works with the purses. So if you guys did have any freezer and shipping or whatever, please just shoot me a message, and because I want you guys to be able to use it too. So, okay, but occasionally that happens. Winter.
Any difference if they have a different color purse?
No. So if your purse is a different color, that's totally fine. Just go ahead and paint it like I am. When you distress it, the color underneath is going to come through. So what are the different colors you guys have?
I think she's got the different style purse.
The smaller one?
Yeah, the crossbody.
This one?
It says rusty brown in the middle and light on the top.
Oh yeah, just go ahead and paint over it. And then when you distress it, it might come through a little bit different on the underneath coloring, but I still think it's gonna be really cool. So I wouldn't worry about it one bit. I think it'll look really good. Okay. So now I've got one coat
Is this
of carbon on the top.
of your hands? Like you're wearing gloves, but if we're not wearing gloves, is it hard to wash off, or is it just like any acrylic?
No, it'll come right off. If you're not wearing gloves, don't even worry about it. It'll come right off. I'm just wearing gloves because I'm moving from purse to purse. So I thought it would be easier if I got paint on my hands to pull them off and then be able to move back and forth. But most of the time I don't wear gloves. It will come off very easily. Yep. So the chalk synthesis line takes 28 days to fully cure. So I tend to be more gentle or careful with things the first couple of weeks, but purses and leather, I found that they've really held up really well and I haven't had any issues. So I think they cure pretty quickly. Okay, so I'm gonna put another coat of the 1987 on my bottom part. And I'm not gonna cover it really fully. I'm just gonna kind of just very gently dry brush, just kind of take my paint over the top because I want to distress this and I want some of the original leather color to come through. So I'm just really, it's not like two thick coats by any means. It's like, I would think of it as 1.5 coats. And I'm just gonna go over the whole bottom. Now, if you have a dark brown top like I have with your carbon, I just did 1 coat because I really like that deep chocolatey color to come through when I distress it. If you don't like that, you can do two coats on the top as well. Kind of just depends on what you like, what you want to do. Paint the back side. How are you guys doing on your purses, colors? Is anyone doing a different color scheme besides the?
Oh, I'm sure they are. I'm sure there's someone in there doing their own thing.
I want to see. I can't wait. That's the funnest part. I love teaching and then seeing people put themselves into whatever it is I teach. I really feel like that's where you blossom, is when you do something you love from your heart that and take a little bit of what you learn as well. I think that's a really cool thing.
So Regina has CC's Paint Couture or Black Fusion.
Yeah, that's fine. As long as it's like a mineral or chalk-based paint, as long as it's not latex, because the latex will not do well on a purse. It doesn't have the flexibility that chalk or mineral paints have, and so it's going to crackle and come off of like a leather, especially a leather purse, because it's flexible, right? So as long as you have a chalk-based paint, you can use that. I really do love Weisel. I've used several different paints on the purses since Prima brought them out, and I really, really do love the Weisel on it. I've used fabric paints, and I kind of prefer the Weisel paint over the fabric paint, actually. I feel like I can get a more of an artistic feel and finish with it. Okay, all right, so I'm gonna set this aside and let this dry. While this is drying, and you can decide if you want to put 2 coats on the whole thing or just the bottom. While that's drying, I'm going to show you a little bit of blending on this other purse, okay? Have you guys done blending? I think you did a little bit in CC's. Did you do blending with CC's class?
We did.
Okay, perfect. So I'm going to do a little bit of blending on this purse. And I think that will be kind of fun for you guys. And maybe we blend differently, I don't know. So for blending, I am going to have my water. This is a fine mist spray bottle. Just as like a really fine water mist. You can get these on Amazon. And I think they have like 3 for $10 or something like that, maybe 3 for $12. But these are really awesome. I use them for painting. Hairdressers use them for cutting hair and things like that. So they're really awesome. Yes, yep. Second coat of the lighter color, yep. All right, so I have this, and I have my same 3 colors I already laid out, my carbon, 1987, and then my iron oxide as I put it in the base. So I'm gonna take my iron oxide, I'm gonna spray it just gently, so it's a little bit wet, and I'm just gonna put a light coat of my iron oxide on. And this is just for an example. You don't have to do this. If you want to do this on your purse you can. If you have a different purse or something you wanna try this on, you can, or you can just watch and do it on something else later. So I'm just doing a really light coat of the the iron oxide. So I do a base coat and then I do another coat of it over the top. Okay. And then while it's wet, I'm going to take my carbon and my 1987. So carbon's gonna go first. Just putting a little bit on the edge of my brush, and I'm gonna go around the edges. And just pull in a little bit. This is gonna give it like a little bit of dimension and shading. Okay, so just like that. Now I'm gonna take my my iron oxide brush, and I'm just gonna go right over the top. I'm gonna start from the middle, and then slowly I'm gonna pull vertical and then horizontally. Now this would be a really cool look if you wanted to create like a full leather look on a chair or something that's not leather and you want to make it look like leather. This is a great combination of these two colors. And then you can add a little bit of variation in between if you want. So I'm going to take our 1987. Well, this is still wet, and I am going to paint right in the center. And I'm just gonna go right over and kind of blend that in. And I'm going to cross hatch. This is called cross hatching. It's a vertical stroke and a horizontal stroke. It just helps to give you a more even blend than just going one way. You'll have a much better blend every time, whether you're using it on furniture, purses, or a canvas or anything, okay? So I have a much more even blend. You can see a little bit of that dirty carbon coming through on the edges. It kind of makes it look like an aged leather, a more natural kind of looking aged finish. And if I don't feel like it's soft enough, I can always take my carbon brush and kind of go on the edges and kind of just cross hatch again and kind of soften that fade out. So sometimes shading and blending takes time. Sometimes it's really fast and sometimes it takes a little bit more time. So just keep going until it doesn't look splotchy, until it looks pretty well blended. And you'll have a really nice blended finish. So these are the same colors you have in your kit, but with a beautiful blend. Okay, and that's gonna dry matte and darken a little bit so it will look more like a really pretty suede leathery finish. All right, let's do the back and then we'll jump back to our main project. So we're gonna do the same way we did before. Just take a little bit of carbon on our edges.
Did you spray it with water again? They're asking.
I will. I'm just gonna put a little carbon down and then I'll spray it with water. And then I'll take our iron oxide and put that right in the middle. This is a little backwards blending from the first one I did, but it's the same, it's kind of the same concept. So you guys can kind of decide which way you like to do it better.
But the water is to help keep it wet to blend the colors together?
Yes, exactly. So that is just the iron oxide and carbon. This is 1987 iron oxide and carbon. So you can see how it just gives it a little bit more pop. So I'll add a little bit of the 1987 on the front middle here and kind of blend it out. That will give it a little bit of dimension. This looks really great with a raised stencil over the top, with a transfer or stamp. So if you guys have used some of those, I know like in Cece's class, used some transfers and things that were really cool. All right. Do you guys like that? Kind of the blended finish.
Did that so fast and it looks so good.
Yeah, it's pretty quick that you can do this. And you know what? If you have old boots that are out of date, you can do things like this to your boots and make them look, I mean, Freebird is a hugely popular brand and they're very expensive. They're amazing boots. But if you have nice boots, you can make them look similar to that faded, distressed leather feel, which is really cool. So I'm gonna set this aside and we're gonna go back to our main project. That's our blended finish. We'll set this down here while we work on this. Are you guys ready, or do you guys feel like your purses are dry?
I was watching you.
What?
I was watching you. Oh my God, that was awesome. So right now, where should they be at?
Okay, so now you should have your purse painted, right? Yeah, the water sprayer is really cool. Amazon, just look for a fine mist spray bottle. It's awesome. So my paint is almost dry on my purse. It's a little bit wet. You can look, you can see how the color variates. It's not quite all the way dry. Otherwise it would be all the same color. So I'm just gonna kind of lightly go over it with my hands and just see if we're dry. If there's any thick parts that have paint that don't need that much paint, I'm just gonna kind of gently rub over it with my hand and remove it. You can do the same. But it's almost there. Or if you have a heat gun or hair dryer, you can go ahead and hit your purse with that, and then that will kind of help as well. And on the top, should be dry. I'm gonna grab a drink and then we will move forward.
Is anyone still working on their coats? Okay.
Yes, okay. I'm gonna take my gloves off now. I typically don't like to do the stick and style stencils while wearing gloves because I feel like they stick to my gloves and I just have a hard time with it. So if you are wearing gloves, it's probably easier to do the stick and style without gloves on. I'm gonna take my paintbrushes I've been using and just stick them in water so that they don't dry out. Here's a little tip for you guys. If you have nice paintbrushes that you love, and let's say you were in the middle of a project and you had to leave, right? And you forgot to put your brush in water, you can take your brush, especially with Klingon brushes, you can take your brush and you can soak it in fabric softener overnight and then wash it out, and most of the time it will soften up and release the paint and you'll be able to use your brush again. So I did, what did I do? One coat of the carbon on top here, and I did 2 coats of 1987 on the bottom. You don't have to do 2 coats. I did 2 coats, but you could do 1 coat and let more of the base or the original leather color show through. It kind of depends on what you like. And so you can just do the solid here, or you can blend it like I showed you on this one. If you like that look, you can do that either way. But if we're just doing the purse that I showed you from the class sign up, it's this one. So we will add shading after we add the raised stencil because I like the shading to go over top of the stencil. It feels to me like it integrates the stencil better into the purse or the project you're doing rather than just having it sitting on top of the shading, if that makes sense. So if you guys are ready, I'll pull out the stencils and get them ready to go. I chose 2 stencils to do this purse with. I had a certain budget I had to go by, and I wanted to get you the most product that I could that I felt you could reuse on different things as well. Because I like to teach the class and I like you to learn, but I like you to take what you learned and level up. Put yourself into it, create something cooler and better. And with these, you have enough that you can definitely do that. So you can use both. I'm going to show you both. You can use one of them. It's totally up to you what you want to do. Yeah, thank you. It's nice to have people help moderate. because sometimes I forget like what I said or whatever. So the two stick and style stencils we're going to use, one of them is called Leopard, and the other one is called Modern Arrows. And they're both, I like them for different reasons. It's a little bit funky with the Leopard. Modern Arrows can be kind of like boho or traditional modern. And so you can kind of create the look and feel that you want to. So I kind of give you both so you could have a little bit of spice. You could put one on the back and one on the front, or you can divide it in half like I'm going to show you now. So it's totally up to you what you want to do. I am going to go ahead and start with the Leopard stick and style stencil. And we are going to use the Iron Gate chalk paste. You can use the Weisel paint if you would like to. I had room to add the chalk paste in, and I like the chalk paste. I like the difference between the chalk paste and Weisel paint. And here's why. The chalk paste is thick. So when I want to add texture to pieces, I typically add the 3D fiber paste from ReDesign with Prima, or I'll add salt wash to my paint to give texture, and like on this piece back here, it has a lot of texture. And so I add that to my paint. The chalk paste is thicker and it has texture already in it. So I really like using this for stick and style stencils or stenciling in general. So I wanted to include it into your kit so that you could try it out. If you want a smoother finish without it, then you can definitely use the Weisel paint that you got in your kit. But I wanted to at least have you guys have the opportunity to try this out and use it. So this is what it looks like. Iron Gate is basically, it's like the black color for ReDesign with Prima. It looks a little bit gray, a little bit charcoaly in the can, but it's pretty black when you use it. So I'm just going to set that aside, and you need scissors. I think I said that in the beginning, but if I didn't, I'll give you guys a minute because you will want scissors. You need to cut your stick and style stencils. These are the rolls they come in. Have you guys used stick and style stencils yet?
Not for this event, not yet.
Oh, perfect. Cool. Well, this is going to be new to some of you. These are so awesome. They're so awesome. Okay, so there is two different types of the stick and style stencils. The one type is a green stencil, and it's wider. These are they're pretty much the same size as the old traditional wallpapers that people would use above their chair rail. They're about that width, and they are sticky like a sticker, and they peel out like this. Okay, and we're going to cut what we need, and we're going to use it on our purse. Now, the cool part is if you're doing several things, like let's say you have a fun night with your friends, okay, and everyone comes over to paint, then you can cut your stick and style stencil, you can stick it, use it, you can pull it off and use it on the next purse. So I honestly, I think I could probably paint like at least 5 purses with just the one piece that I cut off and pull it off and restick it until it pretty much loses its stick, and then I'm going to throw it away. But I still have this entire roll to use. So this is a lot that comes in your kit, and you're only use a tiny bit. They have these ones, and then they have these smaller ones, and they're behind me, as you can see right back here as well. But they have the smaller stick and style rolls with different designs. And this one's, I think it's called Calypso Lattice. Show you this one as well. So if you have different stencils, if you guys have used these, if you have different ones you want to try it, you can use them on your purse. You're more than welcome to. But this is a really beautiful stencil as well. It's a sticker. It's not as wide. You can see that, but it's a lot thicker. I think these go 9 feet, and I want to say these go 18 maybe. I'm not certain, but they're both really neat, and they have a lot of different designs. Another favorite that I really love is the Tea Rose Garden stick and style stencil. I use this a lot. You guys have watched my lives on Prima. I use this. I really love this one. But it's a really beautiful rose pattern stencil that I love. And that would be really cute on a purse. It would be really cute with the leopard print too. Let's see. I'm just checking your... Yes, you can use transfers. So I did place a transfer back here. I wanted to talk to you guys about that in a minute. If you have any questions on the transfers, I'll go over that as well, so I can show you just how to apply and how I seal it. I don't use salve over the top of transfers. I use a different top coat, and so because it's a different material, so I'll show you that in just a little bit. Yeah, there's quite a bit. Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna start with the cheetah, leopard. I know it's leopard, I call it cheetah. And what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna peel off my little end, and I'm going to kind of see about where we're at. Now I'm gonna go to the line. See how the purse has a line here? I'm just gonna go right to that line, okay? And I'm just gonna kind of roughly measure, okay? And take my scissors and then cut.
Can you put the bag that you shaded, blended, could you put that up on the table, maybe in front of the pink paint jar or paint bottle? They would like to see it.
Yes, I can.
So Angela's having some internet issues, and she was wondering, does she need to solve right away, or is it okay, like if she has to come back to this and watch the replay, will she have like problems with the paint cracking or anything?
No, it'll be totally fine. The salve, basically what it's going to do is it's going to deepen the color, it's going to help set the paint, and it's going to protect it because the salve has waxes in it and hemp oil. So it's going to kind of like the chalk type paint is very porous. So it has an open pore surface. So by using the furniture salve, basically that seals it in and it fills in those open pores to protect the paint and preserve it. So as long as you're not like wearing it and going out a lot in it, you'll be fine without the salve over top. Just wait to take it out and go, do your thing, go shopping or whatever you're gonna do, and then use salve. Otherwise, if you just paint it and it's just sitting, it's gonna be, it could sit for 6 months and you can salve it later and you'd be totally fine. So.
Perfect. And no, we have not solved yet. And I'm sorry, they wanted to see the completed crossbody bag. I apologize.
Yeah, right here. Oh,
that up there so they can see what you're doing. Perfect. Thank you.
Better? Oh, you can't even see that metallic. It's so shiny.
So shiny.
It's so shiny. Okay. All right, cool. So, and now I have my bag like this. And I have my stick and style stencil. Do you guys have your stick and style stencils out and trimmed? I don't want to be like jumping the gun and leave you in the dust or anything like that.
I think it's okay to go ahead and keep going.
Okay. All right. I just don't want to. So I'm just going to line this up. It doesn't have to be perfect, but I do want to start at the edge here. Now, stick and style stencils are really awesome. They're going to adhere to almost anything and they're going to stick really well. Now, we are working on a surface that is not consistent. It's going to move and vary. So there's a couple things you can do. I recommend leaving the stuffing in. You can take a piece of cardboard or something and shove it into the purse so you have a hard surface to press down on if you want a really crisp, clear design. I'm okay if it smudges a little bit because I'm going to distress it after. So kind of think about what your style is and what your likes are. If you really like it crisp and clean, then get a piece of cardboard or a plate, something that's hard, a book that you can put into your purse, and then you have a nice hard surface instead of just the filler in the purse. Okay, and then I'm going to take, let's see, this is an F30 Klingon brush. I'm going to take our chalk paste. You can use a spatula if you want. You can use one of the wooden pieces from transfers, or you can use a brush. You can even use your finger. You're just going to take your brush and you're going to just stipple. And I don't have a ton of paint on my brush. It's pretty thin. And I'm just going to stipple right over the top. This is called stippling. Probably a lot of you know that. This is from my tool painting days that we would stipple. So I'm just gonna go right over the top of my stencil with my iron gate. And this is gonna give me a little bit more of a 3D look instead of just the chalk synthesis line. And I'll just go right down to the edge. You can do the cheetah print or leopard all over the whole face if you like, however you like it. You can use a sponge, sure. I like using my brushes. And I really think it's what you're used to. What are you consistently using? Whatever you have the most experience with, you're gonna get the best results from because you're comfortable with that. And so if you typically use a sponge or a spatula or your finger or something when you're painting, then continue to do that because you'll have the results that you're expecting because that's what you're used to. If you want to try something different, then you can do that too. Okay. All right, so got that all on there. Now let's peel it off. Now, my paint hasn't been on there very long, so if it pulls off a tiny bit of my paint, I'm okay with that. I'm gonna distress it after, and so I'm not gonna worry about it. I'm gonna take my stick and style stencil, I'm just gonna stick it to the edge of my table, and if I wanna reuse that, I can. So you can see that cool design, and you can also see how it pulled off a little bit of the paint because it hasn't been on there very long. If I let this paint sit for 24 hours and then did that, it probably wouldn't peel any off, but we're gonna distress it and I like the look of that. So I'm cool with that. So just expect that or know that. I'm just reading your comment. Does the paint, Nancy, can you ask your last question one more time?
See too many typos on that one. We don't want to answer the wrong question.
Sorry, guys. Okay. Okay, so let that dry. Let's do the other side. On our other side, we are going to use the metallic, which is super cool. I really like this color. This is the Chest of Gold Sparks from ReDesign with Prima. And it's a really cool color. It has a little, it feels like to me like if gold, bronze, and copper had a baby, it would be named Chest of Gold. It is the perfect blend of all three colors. So that's the color we're going to use on the arrows. And you could also swap this. You could use the Chest of Gold on the arrows, and you could use, or I mean on the leopard, and you could use the black on the arrows. That would be really cool, actually. I think I would like that. Okay. So we're going to do the same thing we did before. We're just going to unpeel our arrows. Be kind of careful because you can tear them. They are delicate. They're durable, but they're a little bit delicate. So just be careful as you unpeel them and not tear them so your paint doesn't bleed.
It says if the base coat is not done, the acrylic paint will stand well or not. What do you mean by stand well, Nancy? If the base coat is not done, the acrylic paint will stand well or not. Not sure what that means. Are you getting that, Chelsea? Or does that not compute for you either?
Are you saying if you don't put a base coat and you just put the design over the top of it? You don't have to paint the purse. If you like the color of the original purse, you can just put this over it and you put the stencil over it. And yes, it will be totally fine. If that's what you're asking. Did we use carbon on the leopard? No, I used the Iron Gate chalk paste from ReDesign with Prima on the leopard. But you can use carbon if you would like to. It's totally up to you. I believe you have enough of both. You'll have plenty of the Iron Gate for sure. So you can choose. It's really similar to the carbon. It's just a little bit different. It's a little bit more black than the carbon. It's just kind of hard to tell. You're welcome, Nancy. And if I don't answer your question clearly, you guys can always message me as well, or ask again. So don't ever hesitate. Okay, so I'm just gonna go ahead and stick the modern arrows down. Now the modern arrows stencil you want to make sure that you're a little bit more careful when you're pressing your stencil down, because it's more of a precise design, right? If you smudge a little on a leopard, no one's going to notice because the design is kind of abstract. If you do it on a precise arrow, people will notice. I mean, who cares if people notice, but you might notice it might bother you. So just be more careful as you apply your stick and style stencil of the modern arrows down. And what we use, I'm going to use a smaller brush for this. This is why you don't use cheap brushes, because I just broke it, like right in front of you guys. I can glue it if I want later. Okay, let's try again. Anyway, this fancy brush set is from IKEA for 99 cents. But it's nice for like little tiny designs like this. And it will last you for 3 lives and then they'll break.
Does Klingon have small brushes too?
Klingon has a small angled brushes, but most of their brushes, the S30, the smaller brush I showed you at the beginning, is one of their smaller brushes.
So these Klingon brushes is what you use when you paint furniture.
Oh yes, definitely. I use them to paint walls. I use them to paint furniture. I use them to paint almost everything. And I probably would use them on this, but I had these little small brushes just sitting right here, so I thought I would use them. And I know you guys, a lot of you are using different brushes, so I don't want you to feel like you're not gonna get the same result. But if you're doing a lot of furniture and that, like Klingon, there's just, okay, so for those of you that don't know anything about Klingon, Klingon is a company that's based in, oh my gosh, in Denmark, is that right? Oh my gosh, my mind just went blank. Anyways, I think they're in a country over there.
Some Scandinavian country.
I think Denmark. I think they're in Denmark. I think. I don't know why I am going blank. Anyway, they are almost an entirely handicapped workforce. It is a program that the government helps to fund so that they have jobs, and they create Klingon brushes by hand. They make them individually, and they make them up to a certain standard. They fill them with epoxy through the ferrule so they don't shed, and they last forever. And they're very picky about what they use, and they don't change their formula, so they last. They're amazing. And the company, the people that run it, Frank and his daughter, they're absolutely amazing people, and they really care about what they do, and their brushes are absolutely wonderful. So I do really love Klingon for more than just the fact that their brushes are amazing. They're good people.
Couple of questions. Barbara asked if she could use a sponge, like a brush sponge or sponge brush.
Yes, you bet. Whatever you're more comfortable with. If you're more comfortable using a sponge, totally go ahead and do it. If you prefer a little tiny brush, if you want to use your finger or a spatula, a paint knife, like you can do that too with a stick and style. It's whatever you like using the most. If you're using a sponge brush, you may need to do 2 coats, just depending on how thickly it applies the design. And then I see another question. So there is an R14 Klingon, and yeah, why are you screaming? Yeah, the R14 Klingon it's a really great brush. It's a very small brush, and it's great for things like this, especially stippling, because it has that round, more durable bristle. Okay, so we have our metallics on there. You guys ready to see? I love this part. This is my favorite part. It's like unwrapping Christmas presents. And I'm gonna stick my sticker on my table right there. See, we have a little bit of distressing, which is perfect because when we distress the whole thing, it's going to look very natural. Now, when I did my example purse, I'm sorry, it fell down on you guys. There, you can see it now. So you have a few more steps left. So this purse, you can see it's just very basic colors, like almost like block colors. 1987, carbon, iron gate, and our brassy metallic. On this purse, you can see how it has more depth. That's because we've got our iron oxide shading So it's going around our carbon and this, and we have a little bit more distressing. You can see the distressing on the leather back where the original color comes through. And then it's also going to make it feel a lot softer. So if you guys feel your purses right now, they probably don't feel super smooth, right? Because we haven't treated them. Okay. So when this is completely dry, the next step is that we're going to sand it with our Surf Prep sand pads right here. So have those ready and we will sand that and then get our finish to kind of come through, and then we will sab it. And we'll add the iron oxide and then we'll sab it. So I'm going to set that aside and let it dry for just a minute. If you guys want to set yours aside and dry and just watch for a second, that's great. If you want to paint with me, that's cool. Or if you want to grab out a hairdryer or a heat gun, and be careful with the heat gun so you don't affect the leather or any of the finish. I wouldn't put it too close to it, but a hairdryer is totally fine. So if you want to do that, I will kind of show you on our blended purse something else. Okay, so this is the one we did. We have carbon on our edges. We've got the same color, so 1987 and iron oxide, and it just looks more of like a blended finish, okay? So let's go ahead and sand this one. I'm going to use the same, you guys have the blue pads, right, from Surf Prep? The fine grit?
Yes, they do.
Okay, cool. I love these. They're so awesome. This one kind of has a neutral color on the bottom, so I'm just going to leave it. And I love these because they fold so easily and they're nice and protective on your hands. There's many times that I've just folded over a piece of sandpaper and hand sanded, and my hand will fall off and I'll sand my hand. That's part of it. But the foam pads are really nice because they're cushiony. You can fold them and use them in different ways. And they're really great, especially for hand sanding projects. So I'm going to go ahead, this is all dry. I'm going to go ahead and just sand it. Okay, and then see how that kind of gives it a faded look. So the iron oxide that I accidentally got on the bottom, I'm going to totally leave it because I love it. It looks very natural, like it kind of just got there over time. Go ahead and go on this top here as well. And then we will sand our painted area. I'm going to sand both ways. And I like to keep the stuffing in when I'm sanding because the stuffing settles differently. And so I feel like it will give you a more natural finish because some areas of your purse are going to stick out more and you're going to sand down to the original leather and some won't. And so I feel like it will look more natural. But also, there's a few things that sanding does. When you paint on it, like I said, this side feels like a little bit rough or coarse, like a fine sandpaper, right? Sanding it is going to help soften that. It's going to smooth it out. It's going to blend in your finish. It's also going to help work that into the leather a little bit. So it will help it to last longer and you'll have a better finish. It will make it feel like suede leather instead of like a rough painted surface. So nobody wants a purse that feels painted, right? It's like icky. But if it feels like suede leather, I would take it. Okay. And this also kind of shows you, because I just barely got a little paint on this, like I didn't tape it off, but it kind of shows you what a tiny bit of paint looks like on over top of the leather versus a lot of paint. Gives you a cool variation. Okay, let's sand the back. And then we'll see how our other purses, are your purses getting dry? You guys tell me, because I can keep painting and showing you little things, or I can move on. And it's up to you how much you want to sand. I'm sanding quite a bit. Like I like this line here. I like to kind of show the original. I feel like that gives it more dimension and it kind of pops, but isn't that pretty? Doesn't it almost look like metallic? Yeah, I like that. I think that's really cool. Oh, that's a great idea, Terry. I love that. And totally stencil the whole thing. You can add a stencil, you don't have to. You can stencil the bottom. You can use stamps or anything. That's what's so, these are fun. Like, I think this would be so much fun to do as a girls' night and just have a purse party or a guys' night and just, you know, just chill and paint your boots or whatever. I think that would be really fun. Couples date night. How about that? Be fun.
I love it. And you know what? The way that you're making that bag look, it just looks like totally like an aged leather bag.
Yeah. And people pay good money for aged leather bags. So if you can find, you can get these from ReDesign with Prima, or you can find old bags at the thrift store for a couple bucks sometimes, and you can turn them into something really magical. So it just helps you to kind of think about things a little bit different and try new things. Now, I saw a question. No, so you're not supposed to sand before stenciling and you're not supposed to shade before stenciling. I'm just showing you on a different purse how I would sand with that blended finish, okay, while my purse is drying. So let me check and see if mine's dry. Are you guys dry? Is your purses dry? Are your purses dry? My mom would have corrected me for that. Okay, let's see. I think my metallic's still a little bit wet. Just where I put it on a little bit thick. How about you guys? And it kind of depends on your climate too.
Will you be talking about stamping later?
I can show you guys some stamps if you would like to. I have, they're in my other room. But if someone wants to know about stamping, I can show you some for sure.
She said a little bit about stamping and what products you would use.
Sorry, what?
Could you talk a little bit about stamping and the products you would use?
Yeah, so if you want to use a stamp instead of a stencil, ReDesign with Prima has a lot of different stamps that you can use, and you can use the same product. So you can take a brush and you can roll on the metallics or the chalk paste or Wisel paint, and then you can take your stamp and just place it over the top of the purse. So if you have any bleeding under your arrows, see, I have a little bit, just a little bit over here that bled through. Over here is pretty sharp. It kind of depends on where it sits. So use less paint and do thinner layers and then kind of hold it around if it moves at all. So it is a little bit different than applying it to a hard, stiff surface because it does move and have that movement. So you kind of have to work with that. But we're gonna distress it. And so if it bled through a little bit, don't sweat it. Like really don't. We're gonna distress it and it will all look like it's supposed to be that way. Paint another coat and allow that to dry. Yeah, so the paint can come off because it hasn't been sitting long enough. So we're gonna distress it and let some of the under leather come through either way because it's kind of like a distressed finish. But if you don't want any of that to come through, then I would paint a coat. I would paint 2 coats today. I would let it dry, and then tomorrow you can go ahead and add your stick and style over the top, and then you can do that. Or you can add your stick and style to the top, and then once it's totally dry, you can take a small brush, and any areas that were distressed, you can just use your paint and kind of just go over the top of it and cover that up if you don't like that.
What is maker bleeding under my arrows?
Yeah, that's what I was talking about, the stencil bleeding under.
Okay.
So I just painted right over the top of my zippers on this. They've been totally fine. And I just painted a thin coat, but you don't have to. It's up to you. Okay, mine's totally dry. Are you guys dry?
Mine is,
next, now that, what?
mine is dry.
Okay, cool.
There's must be too.
Okay, so now that we're dry, we are going to distress this, okay? This is going to make it softer. This is gonna help work the paint into the purse, and you're gonna have a better, longer lasting finish. And it's also going to distress it a little bit and make it look aged. So we'll distress it next. Once we get it all done, then we will add in our shading of the iron oxide and kind of make it look 3D and pop a little bit. So grab your sanding pad. I'm gonna start on the back, and I'm just gonna go ahead and sand over everything that I've painted. So just go ahead and take it and just sand. Let some of that original leather kind of peek through and let it be distressed a little bit. I like to let a little bit more leather show on the corner edges where it might naturally wear. Okay, perfect.
So Regina said that was supposed to say major bleeding. So she's getting a lot of bleeding under her arrows. Was that because she didn't press down hard enough with the stick and style?
Yeah, so if the stick and style isn't completely pressed down around your leather fabric, then it will bleed underneath. Or if you use too much paint on your brush. So you just want to use a little bit of paint on your brush and then make sure it's pressed down and just work slowly across, and then until you reach the end, and then peel it back. If it's not all the way pressed down, or if you use too much paint, then it can cause that bleeding. So if that's something that really bothers you, then you can wait till it's dry and you can sand it with your pad. You can put another coat of paint over it and then give it another go and get a crisper design, if that makes sense.
And then let's see. So the purse to the left, did you paint over the zipper?
I did.
You already said that, Elaine.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep, I did paint over the zipper.
Right over the zipper. Will the zipper open then?
Yep. I painted very lightly over it. You don't have to paint over it, but when I distress, I kind of go back over the zipper, and the zipper will open and close just fine. As long as you're not painting it really thick. If you're gooping it on there, then you might have some issues.
Well, if someone doesn't want a distressed look, they would just not sand, or is the sanding necessary no matter what?
You still want to sand because it's going to make your purse a lot softer.
Got it.
And it will feel a lot better. So what I would recommend doing if you don't want any distressing at all is painting a coat, letting it dry a few hours, very lightly sanding it, painting another coat, let it dry for a few hours, and then really lightly sand it. And then you can go ahead and apply your stencils and that over the top of it. That way it will give it that nice smooth suede feel that you want. So like I said, a little bit of bleed through will happen because we're on an uneven surface. So you can see on my arrows over here on the corner, they bled a little bit too. So the thinner the coat you do, and then make sure it's really pressed down, you'll get a sharper design. But if you use a little too much, or if it's not all the way pressed down, such as around the edge of a purse, it might bleed a little. But if you're going to distress, don't worry about it, because you can distress that a little bit more and let some of the undercolor or leather come through, and it won't appear like you made a mistake, or make you feel like you made a mistake. And the project is intended to be distressed, but if that's not your thing, that's totally fine. But you'll just have to take more time in between steps to make sure you allow the paint to really adhere so that it won't come off right away when you're fine sanding it. And on the top, I sand this a little bit more because I like some of that deep dark brown color to come through. And so you won't see it as much now, but when you apply the salve, the colors darken a little bit and they're more intense. So you'll start to see that distress come through, and it looks really cool. Okay, yeah, don't sweat it. A little bit is totally fine. And like I said, if it bothers you, you can take your paintbrush, you can touch up around the edges, you can distress more so it looks more distressed. Just kind of let it do its thing. I think that's the best part about art, is it kind of just becomes what it's going to become. And these are so fun with different handles. I'll show you guys another purse I did. I showed you the Harley Davidson one. You can get purse parts almost anywhere. So anything you're really into that you love, like I went to the Harley Davidson store and I got some patches. and some pins and a little tag that I added to my zipper. I'm gonna get a chain from the hardware store and put it on there. So I have kind of like a cool Harley Davidson distressed leather purse. So get creative about what you want to do, and you can add different things. You can make it really, you know, add florals and have like a floral purse. You can make it more industrial. So whoever you are and what you want it to be, then you can go that way and make it that. Yeah, so you just want to take your sanding pad and you want to sand both ways. So in a crosshatch pattern. So you want to sand vertically and horizontally. And then this will make sure that your purse is really nice and smooth and you'll get an even distress over the whole thing. And this will help to make it so your paint doesn't come off later on and your purse is going to hold up a lot longer.
So the sanding is only for the leather and not for anything fabric?
No, I also sand with fabric. Because for the same reasons, you want it, it's going to be like hard and rough to the touch. If you sand it, then it feels really nice and smooth, whether it's leather or a fabric. I've painted many chairs and I always sand to make sure it feels nice. Because you don't want a chair or purse or anything that feels like that scratches you. So if you do that, it will really help just to make it feel nice and smooth.
Thank you.
So if they do the sanding and the stencil and the salve and everything, could they also stencil on top of the salve?
No, salve is very last. So salve has a wax in it, it has protectants in it. So it's going to repel anything else that you put onto the purse. And it even makes it hard for the stick and style stencil, the sticker part, to stick to it. So it's going to help protect it. Like if you spill something on it, it's going to repel it. So salve is always last. So if you're not sure you're done, if you want to add more to it, then don't apply your salve.
So the salve seals it and that's the end.
Yep, and then you're done. And you can reapply the salve every few months if you want to. Every 3, 6, or a year, 3, 6 months or a year. You can reapply it just to protect it and revive it a little bit. But once you apply your salve, you're pretty much done designing. If you're going to put a patch on it, like I did on this Harley purse, I used tack glue, which I'll show you in just a minute, but I used tack glue to apply that. And then I salved after. So no matter what you do, salve is always last. Okay, how's your purses coming, guys? Is that, I feel like mine's pretty much soft. Does it feel, mine feels really good. And it will feel even better once we get the salve on there too. Elena, you had the purse, right? You felt it?
Yeah, I have it.
Oh, yeah?
Well, I mean, it's still here and I was gonna go grab it actually so people could see it, but yeah, it's amazing. It feels like butter.
Yeah, it should feel that way. Okay, that's okay, Terry. We still got time. Okay. So that's about where we're at. You can see some of the leather underneath coming through. It's a little bit distressed. Okay. Now, also you can see the difference, okay? See how this one's much more darker and more intense than this? This one has the salve and this one doesn't. So this carbon is gonna darken up and look more like this when we're finished, all right? So who you wanna paint the strap later? Are you gonna paint the strap a different color? If you wanna paint the strap a different color, you can tape it off, or I just left the protective material on this purse. I didn't take it off and I left it and I didn't paint the strap. I'll probably just replace the strap. Personally, I love the purses, but the straps aren't my favorite. I like it. I don't know, I'm kind of picky about that. So I put on my own straps. But if you want to paint it something later, if you get a little paint on it now, it's not gonna hurt it. You can always paint over it and it will be okay. I'm going to, the inside of these, make sure you paint your little inside pieces as well, because they'll show. And then I just distress them a little bit. So, and another thing, they have these little leather poles on them, which are nice. You can paint these or you can leave them kind of deciding, oh, the salve. Oh yeah, if you're worried about getting salve on it, you can just tape off some of it and then you can put the salve on it, or you could hang it from like a doorknob or something, and then you can apply the salve so then the strap's not gonna be in your way. You can tuck it inside, and you can do that as well. You know what, Barbara, I don't have a strap right now, but I do have a couple. So here's some ideas. The chain from the hardware store, they'll cut it to size. So if you go to most of your hardware stores, Lowe's, Ace, Home Depot, they have all kinds of different chains, and anywhere from like a black chain to a silver, a gold, copper, and they will cut it for you. So you just have them cut it to the length that you want it. And then you can use these little clips and clip the chain on to the metal parts here. Another thing that I really like to use are old belts. So if you can go to a thrift store and find an old leather belt that's soft and kind of will form, or the canvas belts, woven belts, those are really cool in purses. And it kind of gives it kind of like an industrial feel. So you can take that as well, and then you can clip it on with the same thing and clip it onto your metal ends here. So that kind of gives you an idea of some of those. But when I get my strap for this purse and the other one I'm doing, I'll post pictures so you guys can see. And then maybe it'll give you a little bit of inspiration. You can try something different. Okay, so we're all sanded. Mine really doesn't have a lot of dust on it. I kind of just wiped it up with my hand. If you feel like it's really dusty or has excess on it, you could take like a paper towel or a cloth. I just have an old paper towel here, and you can just kind of rub off the excess just to make sure there's no dust on the purse. And then we will shade it. Yes, we're gonna shade it right now. You guys ready? Who's ready to shade? I'm ready to shade. Let's do it.
Okay.
So I have my iron oxide. Iron oxide is the color that you want to use for shading. It is the warm, rusty brown color, okay? When it darkens and we add our salve, it's going to darken and it's going to be shaded like this. So let's start with that. What you want to have a brush. If you have the chip brush, that's great. If you have a smaller brush, that's great. You need a brush. You're going to need some paper towels or a cloth, something like that. And if you have a little bit of water handy, that's great. I have my little spray bottle that I might use. Sometimes I do and sometimes I don't. So let me just grab my brush. And then I'm just using just a small brush here. And then I'll see these brushes are kind of falling apart, you guys. But you don't use them. Let's use this one. And my iron oxide. And I'm just gonna dip it and just have a little bit on the end. You can see that just a little bit on the end. Are we going to add shading like you did? Yes, yep. So I just did the design on the front. You can do the design all the way around the front and the back if you like. It kind of just depends on what you like. I did it on the front, and then I took some of the letter stamps from ReDesign with Prima, the alpha stamp, and I put iron oxide, that's my paint color, and ABW for Apple Blossom Way on the back. This would be really fun to give to a friend or something and put their initials on it. A graduation gift. There's so many possibilities, so many cool things you can do. But you can use the stamps from ReDesign with Prima and add initials and things on the back, or you can take your leopard or arrows and go all the way around the back of the purse as well. It kind of just depends on what you would like to do. I'm going to use iron oxide for the glazing to add a little bit of the dimension into it. With the iron oxide is this brownish color. So you should have gotten 3 colors. 1987 carbon and iron oxide. So just a little bit of this. I'm gonna take it, I'm just gonna really lightly just spray my purse with water, just really lightly. You can put a little bit of water on your purse or you don't have to. Either way, you're gonna have a good design. I'm gonna take my brush and I'm just gonna carefully just go around the top edge. Until pretty much all the paint is off my brush. And then I'm gonna go back over and I'm just gonna kind of pull down a little and just kind of blend it into the paint below. That way it'll be a little bit darker right underneath my transition from my carbon to my 1987, but it will fade out so it doesn't look like a harsh line, okay? And then I'll do a little bit more right down the center. I like to shade around the seams because I feel like naturally that's probably where leather would age more on the open parts and the seams would be darker naturally. And so I kind of like to go along those lines. So I'm gonna take this and I'm just gonna go right down the center. And then I'm just gonna kind of circle and let it fade out. You want to kind of work quickly because it does dry pretty fast. If you're not loving it or it feels too harsh or something like that, then take a little bit of water and just very lightly spray it. And then you'll be able to move that shading more freely and kind of expand it a little bit. That way it will look more like it's naturally shaded instead of a harsh line on the seams. That makes sense?
Love learning your shading techniques. That's awesome.
I'm glad. Elena, how's your purse coming?
Oh, you know, I'm watching. I've kind of gone in a different direction. I'm all black right now,
I love it.
but I have a plan. So you'll see.
Awesome. You know what? Black would look, the carbon would look amazing with the metallic stencil on it, like in just the leopard. Oh, that would be really cool. That would be really cool.
I have a plan. Don't
Okay, I can't wait to see it. And I hope you guys all have something a little bit different. And if you don't, I just hope that you're having fun. And don't stress, like, doesn't have to be perfect. It does, like, let it be what it's gonna be. And that's art, you know, just let it be. And you'll love it, promise. So I'm just doing the same thing. I just load up my brush, put it right down the center, and then I just lightly brush out from that both ways. So horizontal and vertical, cross hatching the same to kind of give that nice and even shading. Okay. We're gonna go around the back and then we're gonna come around the bottom of it. Spray. And then we will go up on the top where the carbon is, and we're gonna also add some there. You don't have to do that, but I really like the way that that kind of adds a little bit of that rusty color, just a hint of it below the zipper and on the edges there. And right there, you can see. I like the look of that. So, oh, I'm glad. I'm glad. That's good. You can also use your finger. I mean, you can use your brush and then use your finger a little bit. If it's a little bit damp from your water, you'll be able to blend it a little bit easier. And then I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna go right underneath my zipper. I'm gonna show you something a little bit different here on the back as well, because I've got a seam kind of in a different place. You can even use a paper towel if you want. We have fingers for a reason, use them.
Your free tool. Your God-given tools.
That's right. Freebies.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And I like to kind of, whenever I'm painting, I like to think of how it would be in nature, how it would naturally be if I found this somewhere. So how would, like a rusty edge look if I found it in nature, and it probably wouldn't be really precise or pristine. It would be maybe smudged and maybe a little bit here or there, and it would probably collect in certain areas more than others. So I like to think about that, like when the water's going to drip, it's probably going to kind of gravitate towards the center or the edges and drip down, and then that's going to give me that rusty drip. So that's kind of what we're going for here. Is I feel in the center of the back, especially under the zipper, if I were to find this, it would probably have a little bit more of that rust coming down off the center part than off the sides. So it might be a little more thickly rusted than in other parts. I just lost my water bottle, you guys. Now I gotta do it without. Okay, and then I kind of dab with my paper towel, and then that gives it that really kind of rusted texture feel. So if you like that textured rust, then you can dab it with your paper towel and put it on a little bit thicker. If you like a more blended look, add it with your paintbrush and then smudge it with your finger. And it really, everyone's different. Some people like different tools for different things. So some of you maybe like to use your fingers, and some of you would prefer a brush or a sponge. So I'm all about whatever you're comfortable with. I'm making the back of mine look a little bit more rusty because I feel like it needs something. And I like that look. If you don't, then don't do it. If you do, do it. Okay. I need to come around this side. We're gonna go around the bottom, and then I'll show you on the very base as well. Okay, so now we've got, I'm gonna add a little bit more to this side, just to kind of bring it up a little. I'm gonna add the bottom, we're gonna do the carbon on top, and then it will probably be pretty dry. We are gonna sand it one more time. And I just do that to make sure that the iron oxide, the glazing, and kind of that dimension that I've given it is also soft to the touch as well. So on our base, I'm gonna spray this one more time. I kind of like the way that paint pulls with the spray bottle more than without the water. Kind of blend that. Take a paper towel and dab it a little bit. Come around this side. How are you guys doing on yours? You guys adding the shading or not? You don't have to. Whatever you like, do it. Okay, so I've got just a little bit of shading, dirty. That makes it look a little bit dirty, but I like that. Okay, so I've got all the shading on the pink. Now I'm gonna go ahead and add it to the carbon up top. And I'm gonna just go along the edges. And I want my water definitely for this because I want it to feel very natural. So it's just on the very edge where the fabric is going, or where the stitches in the design will catch it. I add it on this inseam here, kind of pull down into the bottom, and then I crisscross a little bit just to give it some dimension. And then I'll do the same right along this edge as well. You can use a metallic to do this as well. You can get it wet and then use your metallic to highlight. I think that would be really cool. Let's use a little bit down this edge here. Ooh, I see that. It's looking good. I see yours. It looks awesome. I like that. I have all my purses are black.
Getting Welcome to Night Vale from Amazon Music. Resuming 180. You view.
Okay.
Haven't missed it. Go to welcometonightvale.com.
Alexa, stop. Sorry. I think Alexa just decided she was gonna play music or something. That was weird. Do you guys have Alexa? We have it because we have a downstairs and our boys go down there a lot. And I hate yelling down the stairs. So instead of yelling down the stairs, we have one upstairs and downstairs, and I just tell her, I just make an announcement, and then it just tells everyone. I don't have to yell. It's nice.
That is such a good idea. So wait, you say something to Alexa and then she says it and then everybody hears it downstairs?
Yeah, so if you have Amazon Prime, you can get Alexa, and the speakers are like, I don't know, I think they were like maybe 20 around $20 a piece. And it just hooks into your Amazon Prime and your Wi-Fi. And then you can say, I have one upstairs and one downstairs, and I say, Alexa, make an announcement. And I say, hey, kids, come upstairs and eat or come clean or whatever. And then I don't have to yell down the stairs, and it just says it right through the speaker. So it's really nice. I feel like there's much less yelling in our home.
That's so cool.
Yeah, it is. It's really awesome. It's amazing what technology can do, the good things, you know?
Exactly.
Okay. So I am going to, yes, intercom. Yep, intercoms. I remember those too. I'm going to go over the zipper. And I know we had questions, should I paint the zipper or not? It's going to be totally fine. Just don't put it on really thick. I'm only putting a tiny bit on my paintbrush, and I'm just going to kind of come back over the top right above the zipper and kind of just give that carbon a little bit of rust on the bottom of it, the shading. And just shade it. I love the way that looks. And not everyone will, and it kind of depends if it's for you or not. If you don't like this, you can use the same technique. If you use a lighter gray or white or anything, you can use a little bit darker tone and apply the same technique, and it's going to give you that shading and dimension, but it won't look like a rust color. So it kind of depends on what your likes are. Yes, Barbara, that is great. I use it for a timer I use Alexa for a timer all the time. I always burn pizzas, and Alexa saves me from burning pizzas. So I love it. Regina, I'm going to show you what I meant on adding metallic instead of this, because this is done. So here is all of our shading. We've got our purse painted. We have our stencils on there, and we have our iron oxide shading, right? Okay, so now we just want to let it dry, and we put the salve over it. If you want to apply something over where you remove the tag or where the tag is still existing, here's how I do it. So I recommended at the beginning just saving the little, the genuine leather tag that came with your purse, flipping it over so it's backwards, and then it has like a suede finish without the wording. And then I use, it's called liquid stitch. So it is a fabric glue, and it's very strong and durable. It's really awesome. I use it on all my hats, and it's amazing. So liquid stitch, and then I just put a little bit onto it. I'll put it all over there like that. I want to show you how to salve this, so I don't want to apply it. But I will put the liquid stitch all over my leather, and then I just smooth it out with my fingers so it's covered, the glue, and then I'll stick it right over the top like this, and I'll just kind of hold it down, and I'll set something on top of it, and I'll leave it overnight to dry, and then I'll apply the salve. You don't have to do that. You can leave the original tag, or you can leave it without a tag. It's just something that I added to this one that I thought was kind of fun and added something different. When I do personalized purses for my business or whatnot, I add these little leather patches that I had lasered. They say ABW Authentic for my business name. You could have, a lot of people laser these. If you guys need a contact, I can get you a contact for someone who does this, and they can cut them for you and ship them to you. You can use your liquid stitch, and then boom, you can apply it. So if you were having a fun night out with friends or something, you could make unique ones, and then you could apply it, and then it's personal to you. So that's kind of fun. Yeah, you can. Yep. If you have a fabric glue that you prefer over that works really well, you can 100% use that. I just found this on Amazon. I think it was like $10 for this whole bottle, and I've done over 100 hats with it, so it goes a long way. So it kind of just depends on what type of project you're using, things like that. Oh, shoot. Carly says she spilled her paint all over her bag. It's okay. You wipe it off, let it dry, and then paint it again. It's fine. You're just gonna have more layers. That's okay. Fabric tack. I think fabric tack would work the same. The liquid stitch it's really, really a strong fabric glue. People use this to hem pants instead of sewing pants. If they need to hem them, they'll fold them and use liquid stitch, and it holds the pants up in the hem. And so it's a really, really strong, great glue. I've used fabric tack for different projects, and it's great. I've just found this has been really excellent with hats or things you're wearing or moving, because it kind of, it just has a really strong grip. So it's up to you what you want to use, but I've used both, and I do like this the best, but both are great. Okay. Yeah, and they're probably pretty similar in price, I would think. You can get them at most fabric stores or Amazon, online, things like that. Okay, so I'm gonna let this sit for just a minute, and I wanna show you guys what I meant by using metallics in place of where I used the rust or the iron oxide on this. So this bag has the iron oxide in this. We're gonna use a little bit of metallic and highlight, and I'm gonna show you what that does, like what the difference is, okay? So where is our, there it is. You guys should have plenty of the chest of gold. So let's use this. And I'm just gonna dip right into the lid. Ooh, that's pretty. Yeah, the metallic is fun. All of it is really fun together. So I wanted to use the metallic from Sparks ReDesign with Prima, because it comes in just the right small bottle for this. But Wiesel, which is the paint we use on all this, and they sponsored, they have really amazing metallic paints, and they come in bigger sizes. So if you have a dresser or a larger project, those are awesome to use for that. If you have something small, you want to add a little bit, then these ones from Sparks or ReDesign with Prima are really really awesome as well. So just so you have options. Okay, so I'm just gonna take this and I'm gonna go around my edges just like I did with the iron oxide, but we're gonna do it with metallic and see the difference that it makes on this purse. Yeah, the heavy metals from Oiselle, they are amazing. They don't need a top coat. So if you decided to paint a purse with the heavy metals, you wouldn't have to seal it. You could just leave it. It's really beautiful paint and they're really picky about the colors. So I'm just gonna very gently go over my edges with this. And I'm gonna highlight. And I'm just gonna kind of pull my brush down to blend that a tiny bit. And I'm gonna turn this up. I might be a little yellow, but you guys will be able to see the metallics better. You see how it catches that? Isn't that freaking cool? It's so awesome. Okay, so let's take a little bit of that metallic. That looks awesome, you guys. Pull it down just like we did with the iron oxide. And let's just highlight those edges. You don't have to do this. This is just if you want to do something different, try something different. I just want you to know that this is totally an option. And then I'm just gonna dry brush and kind of pull it out. Kind of gives it a little bit of a shimmery, when you dry brush, a shimmery feel, which is really beautiful. I like that a lot. Look how pretty that looks. It looks classy, but aged and kind of like a soft suede. We'll put salve on this so you guys can see it too, because I like that. I think that's cool. What do you guys think? Oh, can you guys hear them?
Yeah, we can hear them, but it's okay.
They are in the kitchen making peanut butter sandwiches and they're trying so hard to be quiet.
Aw, they're good.
They're so cute. I looked over at him and he goes,
They're having fun.
There's two glue questions. One is, would E6000 work? And would 5-minute 2-part epoxy work for the tag?
E6000 would probably work, but I don't know if it's as flexible as like the tack.
Okay, wait, I have to show you guys this. Chelsea, look, hold on. I just pulled this out of a goodie bag from CHA. It's Fabrifuse by E6000. See how it says flexible stretch?
Yes.
I just
Yes.
really just found this. I was trying to find glue and I pulled this out and I was like, oh, E6000 came out with fabric glue. So there you go.
Perfect.
Anyway.
Yes. So use that. That's
Yeah, I will.
perfect.
I'll glue my tag on with that.
Yes. I love that. I think that's perfect. And you know what? Even the leather tags, if you don't love the color of the leather tags, you could paint it or put a metallic on it or something, or paint like little tiny flowers or like an Aztec print or stencil, I don't know, over that tag and make it your own. So kind of like think outside the box and do something that you love that speaks to you. I think that's important. Oh, I love this metallic over this. I feel like this is heaven pretty much. I love the way this looks. So I still have not even dipped into the jar, you guys. I am typing. Can you go grab them, Finn? Please. I've only dipped into the lid. I haven't even dipped into the jar yet. So it goes a long way, which is awesome. Okay, I'm gonna come down here too, because I love the way this looks. Let's see, how are we doing time-wise, Lena?
You have about an hour and 15 minutes. Is that right? Does this go to 5 or 5:30?
I think 5.
Okay, so it's
Let's see.
3:45. It's 3:45. So about an hour 15.
Okay. Okay, cool. We're
You're good. You're good.
Because I want to show you guys some other things, but I don't want to like wear you out.
Oh, you're doing great.
Okay. Cool. We'll keep going. This is fun. I told Elena, I said, I teach a lot of online classes. I have a class on my stone finish, which is the buffet you see behind me. My signature stone finish, I teach classes on that. I teach a faux brick class on how to make faux brick walls, a back to basics class that teaches you everything you need to know from start to finish on refinishing furniture. And I also have a cabinet class that teaches how to paint cabinets from start to finish. I've been painting for many years, especially cabinets. And so I just put it in an online format. It's in a Facebook group. And so you can access all the information and it never goes away. It always stays up and it will help you with your painting career, especially if you want to, if you like to paint for yourself and you want to start painting for other people, or if you are an experienced painter and you want to learn more techniques. It's a really great class and there's some awesome people in it. Everyone helps each other. So I do have those classes available for different techniques as well, but I'm going to try and sneak in as much as I can today with you guys and kind of try it. That looks pretty cool, right? It almost looks like gold leaf a little bit, the way it's sporadic.
I love it, but I love sparkle.
I do too. Okay, so Jane says she wants to redo her arrows. And you know what, that's the great thing is there's enough stick and style that if you don't love it, it's something, it might take a little bit more practice than that. If you don't love it, then you have plenty to do more. So yes, let it dry and then just kind of fine sand it with your sanding pad. And then you can go ahead and put it over and you can either do the design again, or you can just paint another thin coat of whatever base color you chose, whether it's 1987 or carbon or the iron oxide. And then you can go ahead and once that's dry, you can put your stick and style stencil over again and do your arrows one more time. Okay, go ask Dad. Yeah. We got a new sink and a new sink faucet. And I think it's a little bit confusing because our old one had 2 handles on it and this one has 1. So they're not used to, you know, deciding which way it should go.
They're like, is it cold? Is it hot?
He's like, I don't know. I've been messing with it for 20 minutes and I have a lukewarm drink.
Oh.
That's awesome. Okay, I am totally sold on that. That color combo is so pretty and it's so pretty in person. Oh, it's so good. Love it. I want shoes like that. Wouldn't that be kind of cool?
I
Have
love,
like high heels.
I love it.
Okay. All right. So we have our base. Our purse should be pretty much dry. And let's see, with transfers, Regina, do you mean like the transfers from ReDesign with Prima or the stencils that we used? And if so, what are they specifically? And I can help you. And I have dust all over me somehow. Okay, I'm gonna set these paints aside for a second. I'm gonna show you my final step on this purse, and then I have another purse that I painted in bone, which is a color from Wise Owl. It's a super pale gray, almost white. It's really beautiful, and I'm gonna show you something kind of different and cool with it, which I didn't tell anyone I was doing this. It's a surprise bonus for this class. I hope you like it. If you don't, that's just too bad.
Just do it. Show us.
I'm gonna. But we're gonna salve this first so I can show you how to apply the salve and complete this project. And then we can go from there. And yes, I have a transfer that I can show you. If you can tell me what specifically, like you're having, Regina, if you're having problems adding a transfer onto a bag, is it adding the transfer onto the bag or a problem with like transfers in general? If you can be more specific, or if you have more questions, you can also message me later too. So, yes. Okay, so if you are on a time crunch and you want to apply the leather tag and you also want to salve, I would recommend salving around, but not right where you're going to apply the tag. And then you can glue on your tag and leave it overnight, and then you're totally done. Or you can glue on your tag, let it sit overnight, and you can salve the entire thing on top of your tag as well tomorrow morning. So I'm going to show you how to do it now, and you can decide in which order you want to do that. Another thing is if you do remove that metal plate that was there, it will have 2 little holes right here. you could thread something else through it. So if you wanted to thread like a piece of leather and tie a bow or something else, it does have that hole there. And so you could do something cool like that. Or you can put your tag there. You can put a patch there, just like I showed you on my Harley Davidson purse, where I just got a Harley Davidson patch. And I used the tack glue, my liquid stitch, and I applied that patch right there. So if you think about it, there's so many possibilities. Like, how fun would it be to create a super cute Disney bag with a Disney patch on it, and then that's your Disney purse, and you can take it to Disneyland, and you know, or for your kids or grandkids or friends or cousins, whatever. Like, that would be super fun. So think outside the box and put different things onto the front to make it unique and yours, especially if you're going to give it as a gift, because that's really fun. People love something that's personalized, and these are really fun to do. So let's see. Oh, okay. I must have missed that. You can buy the purses from ReDesign with Prima. If you go to my website, appleblossomway.com, I have a few links to my affiliate link through ReDesign with Prima. So you can go to that, click on it, it will take you directly to the Prima site, and you can purchase purses, transfers, the products we've used, everything we've used today, you can purchase off of my site, appleblossomway.com. And you can click a link to the ReDesign with Prima if you want to purchase ReDesign with Prima products.
They want to learn about transferring onto the purse.
Yeah, I'm just going back and reading those comments right now.
Okay.
Okay, we'll do that next. So let me show you how to apply the salve, and on the purse that I'm going to do some of my funky design, I have a transfer I can add to it as well, so we can kind of kill two birds with one stone, right? Okay, so let's apply our salve onto this, and then we'll move on to this one and we'll do our transfers. So for my salve, I have both types out here. This is the salve you received. It's a different scent and it's a little bit smaller size, but the salve is kind of like a yellowish tone. It's because it's hemp oil based, okay? And that's what makes it that color. So there's the salve, and Wiesel recently came out with there we go, okay, furniture tonic, which is awesome. It's basically salve in a liquid form. I love this. I love using it in my hair, on my hands. It's totally safe to use. The clear unscented salve is food safe, so you can use it to season cutting boards. So I am going to take my salve. I'm going to use a 2-inch palm brush. These are so cool. They're the best brushes ever. But you don't have to use a brush to apply the salve. I just wanted to show it to you because over time, I've realized that I really do prefer to use the salve brush over like an old t-shirt or a cloth because it doesn't use as much salve. It goes farther and you can get into the crevices easier with the brush. So I'm going to use the brush and apply it. If you don't have a brush, just use an old t-shirt, a lint-free cloth, a sock is great to use because you can put it on your hand and just put it on the salve. So we're just going to go to the back first. Just make sure your purse is totally dry, and then you can just put your salve right over the top of it. This is your last step. So if you want to add something else to your purse, don't salve it yet. Wait until the very end. Okay, I'm going to apply it over the whole thing. And I love the salve. I use it on my leather couch. I use it on my boots, on a leather jacket. It really just protects it and revives it. It's really quite amazing. It's cool. It's cool stuff. So, okay. So I just apply it all over the purse.
Chelsea, can you use the salve on suede?
You can. So yes, the back of this tag is suede. It's a suede rough leather. You can. On a couch, I don't know if it would because it does have waxes in it, so it might darken the suede more than you would want it to. But if you have a suede that's like old and it needs something no matter what, then yes, I would use it on it.
What about like boots?
Yes.
Like
yeah. So the salve does darken the color, and it looks shiny, right? But once we buff it in and it sets, it's going to be like that matte finish, okay? So after I've applied with the brush or your sock or your t-shirt, whatever, I'm gonna use a lint-free cloth. This is just a microfiber towel that I use for salve. You can use an old t-shirt, a sock, anything that's not going to leave a lot of lint behind. And you're gonna buff that salve into the purse, okay? So I'm just gonna take it and I'm just going to buff it in. And this is going to seal, so all those that open pore surface with the chalk synthesis paint, it's gonna seal all of that in, it's gonna protect it, and it's going to protect it from outside things that you might spill on it or whatnot. So you just wanna buff it in really well. The salve dries pretty quickly, and so I would say, I would be comfortable taking this purse and wearing it out tomorrow, but I would probably let it sit tonight and kind of let that salve just soak into it a little bit. It's not gonna come off on your clothes. And the smell, if you don't like the smell, because they send out different ones. Wise Owl is really awesome to donate the salve and the paint, like they're awesome. But if you don't love the smell will dissipate over time. So after a little bit, the smell will kind of go away and then you won't have that smell anymore. But I love it. It just kind of depends on what your likes are. So, okay.
So the salve brush, where did you get that salve brush? I have one.
I sell it on my site. So these are Wise Owl brushes. So I carry Klingon brushes and Wise Owl brushes. This is the 2-inch palm brush. I dedicate it to salve or wax, and I store it in a baggie, and I just leave it like that. And I don't use it on paint, only that. And it's amazing. It's my favorite. But yeah, it's the 2-inch palm brush, and I have some in stock, so I can ship them out to you guys.
And how
if you're not,
how do you clean those?
I don't clean my salve brush. I just leave it in a baggie and I just reuse it for salve. My other brushes, I use a water-based product on them, then I soak them in water. But this, I just dedicate it to salve and I only use it for that.
Got it.
So I don't clean it.
So
if I really wanted to, I could soak it in hot water and Dawn dish soap and clean it a little bit, but I don't really need to.
Does the salve make it like water repellent at all?
Yeah, so the salve has waxes in it. So it will repel and protect it as well. That's why you want to do the salve very last, because it's going to repel your paint or your stick and style stencil. It's not going to stick to it because it has those waxes that repel and protect in it. So you can kind of see the different colors, how that changes, like the salve kind of brings out those richer tones underneath, and where it's distressed, you can see how it kind of brings that out a little bit. But it's soft. It makes it really soft. Do you guys feel that? The softness? Are you guys to that point? Has anyone salved? Well, Terry, I don't know what the first part said, but I got the yes. Okay, good. We got it. We're good. Okay, so that is our purse. Now, let me pull out this other one that I've already painted. I'm going to show you some transfers on it, and I'm going to show you my little funky design, and then you can decide. Yep, Carly, that's great. If you want to wait till tomorrow to salve, totally do it. And you can. So I had another purse, just like this one. And I painted it in bone, Wise Owl bone. And I just kind of roughly painted it. So it's not 100% covered. You can see there's parts that look distressed, right? I want it to be that way, okay? So first things first, always, paint your base layer, sand your base layer. Then you add your stencils and shading, whatever. Then you're gonna seal it, okay? So I painted my base, I'm gonna sand it, and give it a little bit of stick and let the undercolor come through. I'm gonna do this before I apply my transfer. Awesome. I can't wait to see your projects too. I can't wait to see your posts. I think that's fun. Oh, and I have giveaways. Did I tell you guys that? I have some giveaways we're gonna do that I'll announce in the group. I think I did. I can't remember if I mentioned it before we started or not.
You did. Maybe Chelsea, you can do one just for the people that are in the class right now.
Yeah, let's do the bigger one for you guys that are in the class. So Surf Prep wanted to donate a giveaway prize for all of you. And so they donated a $25 gift card to Surf Prep, and you can still use my 10% off code. So that gives you a little bit more. And I'll send you out some sanding pads, like a whole pack of these behind me. All the different grades that they have, there's 2 of each. I'll send them out to you, and that will be your price. So how should we do it? Should we just pick a random comment?
I will do a random.org. Is that okay? They'll get
Perfect.
a random number. So there's
Perfect.
30 attendees, and right now there's 30 people on. So the winner is number 22. So let's see, who is number 22? Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, I believe it's Shelly. Let's see.
Sweet. Okay, so Shelly, if you want to shoot me a message on my business page, I will get it sent out
I'm
to
sorry,
you.
I'm sorry. Don't kill me. It's Sandra. I'm sorry.
Sandra.
Sandra, I'm sorry, Shelly. I don't know how to count. Don't kill me.
I'll tell you what, Shelly, you're gonna win a pack of stick and sell, a pack of sanding pads. And wait, who's the other winner?
Sandra.
Sandra, you're gonna get the $25 gift card. So if you will both message me and on my business page, Apple Blossom Way, I will send those out to you.
Yay. Awesome.
Is that
Thank
fair?
you. That's so sweet, Chelsea. So sweet. And then the other 2 we can do on the group and get people interested.
Awesome.
More signups for this class. Okay. Thanks, Chelsea. So sweet.
You betcha. Well, I want you guys to use them. They're awesome. I really love them. I love all the Surf Prep products. Their sanders are amazing. I'll never use my other sander ever again. So I have carpal tunnel. I've had carpal tunnel surgery in the past and I've had issues with that. And I can sand all day with the Surf Prep, where my traditional sanders, I would sand for half an hour and I would be in pain at night. So they are totally worth it. Yes, Judy. So I am an ambassador for ReDesign with Prima. If you go to appleblossomway.com, I do have a link for my affiliate link. So if you just go to my website and then go to shop, you can go to ReDesign with Prima, click on that, click on the picture, it'll take you right to ReDesign with Prima. That way you don't have to remember a bunch. Yes, Stephanie, it totally is. It sends in all the details too, which is super cool. So this bag was a colored bag, just like the ones you guys received, but I painted it. I put 1 coat of Wise Owl bone on it. And the only difference is now this bag is similar to the ones you guys got, but it has green leather, like an olive green with a brown. So that's why you see that green tone coming through when I distress it. But I think it's gonna be cool. Okay, so we've got it all distressed. First step's done, painted and distressed. And I keep looking to the side because I'm just checking your messages or your, yeah, it does look white. It is bone. Wise Owl bone is a super light gray, almost white. It's one of my favorite colors from Wise Owl, actually. And it kind of gives just like that bright color, and it changes a little bit. So I'm going to show you guys, I'll paint part of this and then I'm going to show you a stencil on part of it. So let's do, I don't know. Let's do this, I don't know, we'll do a stencil on the front, I guess. I'm going to use, I wasn't planning on doing this, but you guys want to know about this, and so I'm going to show you. This is the Folk 1 transfer from ReDesign with Prima. I use this a lot because it's one of my favorites. And I just realized I don't have my tool in here because I've already used this transfer. So let me see what I have. And I put other transfers in it. That's fun. Okay, well, we're gonna use this because that's what I have. I just used this on some wall art I did. And it's kind of like an Aztec transfer. It has some really cool designs on it. So let's kind of see what we like. Ooh, I like that. Let's do that. That was cool. Let's do that. So with the transfer, you're just gonna want to cut it to the size of your item. So I'm gonna kind of just cut down here. I'm also going to trim off this bottom edge so I can get it close to the bottom of my purse, because my purse has all that texture and the seams. It will be easier for me if I just cut off that excess and I can lay it flat. And I am going to use the end of my broken paintbrush to apply the transfer. Typically a transfer will come with a small wooden paint stir stick, and that's how you apply the transfer. Now, if you have a broken paintbrush that's similar to it, you can go ahead and use that. I'm sure it will work. If it doesn't, then we'll have to figure something else. Okay, cool. Oh, this way, this way, this way. Yeah, you guys like that? I think that's gonna be really cool. Oh, and then, okay, then if we got a piece of braided leather or a piece of like braided rope that was black, wouldn't that be cool? That'd be cool. I love it. We're gonna do it. So I'm gonna peel off my stencil. Okay, number one rule, make sure this is distressed or at least sanded back so your paint is well worked into the leather. Now you want to make sure it's wiped off. There's no dust or anything on it. If there's dust, then the transfer is not going to adhere. So just take your, paper towel or whatever and just make sure you wipe it back. And then you're going to peel off your transfer after you've cut it to the size you want it. And center it. Okay, and I'm just gonna start from this side and work over, so I'm not gonna press the whole thing down yet. The purse is gonna have movement, and so I feel like I'm gonna get better results if I start from one side and go to the other instead of pressing the whole thing down, okay? So I'm just gonna kind of start right here. I'll work out to this edge and then we'll go back across, okay? Oh yeah, this works great. Who would have known?
Does Prima need to design their burnisher now?
Yes, I feel like we need to redesign the burnisher tool because this is actually easy. Like this may be my new tool. If they come out with one and I don't get credit, all y'all saw it here first.
Right? Happy accident.
I love it. You know what? It's funny because at first when things would happen and I was live and teaching, and I made mistakes or things didn't work out, I would be really nervous. But the more that I've taught and the more that I've had these experiences, I realize it's a really good thing to have things not work out. It's good to make mistakes and to have things not go as planned because that's how it is in real life. And when you're working on projects, they never go perfectly. There always is hiccups. And so I feel like when there's issues, it's good to let other people see that. And then if they have that experience, they know how to fix it and remedy it.
I like that. Show us your mistakes so that we can know like how to handle it, right?
Yes, exactly. I don't think I've ever, honestly, in all of my years in painting, I don't think I've ever done a project that's just been like, well, that was a breeze, like no issues.
Yeah. For sure.
Okay, so you can also get transfers through my link on ReDesign with Prima. And I believe that you can get all of the transfers, the newly released ones as well. but I think I'm gonna really like this look. See, and you just never know. You just gotta be prepared. Like I wasn't gonna do a transfer today, but I had it out just in case we had time, and then you guys wanted to see it. So I was like, sweet. And I like it too. Okay, a little bit more. And you'll know when it's applied because it will start to kind of fade and look cloudy. And just be prepared, like it might distress your paint a little bit. And it is distressing mine just a little bit because I only have this painted. I painted it like 30 seconds before we started. So the longer your paint sits onto the piece, the less likely that will happen. But keep in mind, it is leather and it moves, and therefore your paint may come off a little bit when you're applying something sticky like a transfer or the stick and style stencils and things like that. So if, like I said, if you don't like that, if that's not your thing, it's okay. Just like let it happen, pull it off, and then go back with your small brush and then just touch up any areas that it distressed that you didn't want it to. And then just slowly peel it off. And then I'm just going to take my hand and go back over it. Basically, I'm just making sure that it's as fully adhered. I don't have any air bubbles. Now, once this is applied, I have a couple of different options, okay? What do you guys think? I really like that. I like the little bit of green coming through, and I even like how it just distressed a little bit in here too. I think that's really cute. That's fun. Okay, so here's your options. Oh, good. I'm glad you guys like it. I like it too. That's fun. Okay, here's your options. You can seal it, or you can add a little bit of glazing around the edges. You could do some of the iron oxide, which would look cool, kind of look like a rust. You could use the carbon and have like a darker glazed edge. You could use the metallics, like this one, and glaze the edges with a metallic. That would be really beautiful on this. So you kind of decide, do I like it the way it is? Do I want to add something, do something different, and then go from there. If you like it as is, or if you've glazed it and you're done, you're ready to seal it. This is what I have found with transfers on a purse. Over time, because the leather moves and has movement, if you use salve or a wax over top of it, the transfer will kind of break down and it won't hold up. So what I have found as a solution is Rust-Oleum clear enamel, the crystal clear enamel. It comes in matte finish, so it's not going to look shiny where you sprayed it and where you didn't spray it. And then you're going to take it. I'm not going to spray it right now because I don't want to breathe it in. I usually wear a mask and I do it outside. But I'm going to spray a coat of this. I'm going to let it dry for a little while, and then I'm going to spray another coat. And I'm only going to spray it on this front part, like probably this part right here where the transfer is. That's going to seal in the transfer. It's going to give it a protective layer so that it's not going to break down or rub off. Then once that's totally dry, I can salve the entire purse. I can even salve over top of the area that I sprayed, and then I'll still get that nice soft feel, and it will still protect my entire purse, but it's not going to break down my transfer. All right, so I've done several purses, and that for me is kind of the golden ticket. So you get this most hardware stores, just a Rust-Oleum crystal clear enamel spray, and just put a little bit there and then salve over the top once it's completely dry. All right, that is my thing. Okay, distressing is stressing you out. You know what, it's so funny because my dad hates things distressed. He goes, when we did his cabinets, I asked him if he wanted them lightly distressed, and he goes, I don't want them stressed, no stressing. So you either like it or you don't, and that's totally fine. So you will want to go over with a little brush and kind of just adjust it and make it what you want it to be. But also let it have some freedom to do what it wants to do as well. I feel like it's kind of like a therapeutic thing as well. So kind of, you know, give it a little to do what it wants as well. Yeah, it's funny. My dad's very traditional. it took him a lot to let me paint his cabinets because he did not want them painted. And I just said, you have to paint them. They were bad. Well, he built them himself, which is pretty cool. But they did need to be painted. They were kind of icky finish. Okay, all right. So we have a few more minutes. Yes, thank you, Terry. We have a few more minutes. I'm going to show you what I was going to do on the back and see what you guys think. Give you a few minutes to finish up your projects. Oh, I totally get it. And you know what? Look what I did to myself, you guys. I should have wore an apron. I just got dust all over me. Fine. Okay, so I brought out a few bright colors, and I grabbed another thing to show you as well. So let me just, I had so many things. I had to kind of space it out. Okay, before I start this, I just want to give you some ideas and options. So I talked to you about adding different straps to your purses and things like that. Another idea, which I think would be super fun, if you want to kind of create like an industrial purse, like a military style purse or something like that, you can get these heavy jacket zippers at like Joann's or most fabric stores. They're really cool. They're chunky. They're great for an industrial design. And you can use your tack glue or the liquid stitch that I showed you. And you don't have to sew it. You can just glue it down. And you could add like a really cool look. Like, wouldn't that be cool on that purse to add just like a cool, bold black and gold zipper onto the back of it? And it's not a real zipper. It's just for design purposes, just the look of it. But just think about the things that, you know, that you can add to your purse to kind of give it a different feel and upgrade it. Okay, so that's one idea. Another one is I went to Uncle Sam's, which is like a military surplus store. They have tons of really cool backpacks and buckles and belts, and you can use those for your straps. You could use these big, this is from Uncle Sam's, it's a military parachute. And you could use these clips and then use a chain in between. So it's more industrial. Like I showed you my Harley purse. Now, the only thing I will mention to you is if you're going to add other patches and things like that from another company, like Harley Davidson, I can add this and I can put it on my purse and I can wear it around and be happy and love it, or I can give it as a gift. I can't resell it though, because they do have restrictions because they own, it's their logo, they own it. So I can't go and make a bunch of these and sell them. So just keep that in mind. But look how cool like this other Harley patches. You know, and then the little tags, you know, the dog tags, and I grabbed another pin that's kind of, you can't really see that, I'll pull it out. Like it says, it's green and silver, it says genuine Harley Davidson. So think about the different brands you like, and if you can get patches, then you can add them. And especially, how cool of a gift would it be if you had someone you loved and they just had something you were really into, and you could grab something like that for them and make them one of a kind. Like honestly, one of a kind just for them. That is really cool. That would be meaningful. So think about that. Okay, so now we showed you that. I'm going to show you my last thing. We got a little bit of time left. And then I want to see what you guys did with your purses. Okay, so I have one of these plates. I think I showed it to you before, but maybe I didn't. These are just like the little lunch plates. And I am going to take my paint in my 5-foot bottle. I have some bright colors. So I'm just going to put a little bit on. This is, these are all Wiesel. This is called Rock Steady. It's a very bright, vibrant pink. This is Santorini. They don't carry it anymore, but I still love it. They have some really awesome other colors as well. They have some really pretty oranges, purples, but I'm just going to use these 3 colors and show you. As soon as I can find my can opener, I'll use scissors. When in doubt, use scissors. Okay, this is called turmeric. It's a really beautiful, like mustardy yellow. I'll use a little bit of that. I'll put a glove on here too, because this is going to get quite colorful. I can tell. and I won't get it all over my keyboard. How you doing, Lena? How's your project coming?
This is super awesome. Like, this is exactly what I wanted to learn. So
Yay.
thank you. This is
You're
it.
welcome. I'm glad. That makes me happy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now I need like all those brushes, and thanks for telling me, thanks for teaching me what I didn't know about totally needing those brushes.
They really are amazing. And you know what? The truth is, they are an investment. Most are around like $25 to $35 unless you get a big brush. But I've used my brushes for 2.5 years, 3 years, the same brushes. They are amazing. And not only that, they're giving you a smoother finish with less brush strokes too.
Well, and this
So-
paint is amazingly smooth itself.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, the white gel paint is it's a very smooth, beautiful paint.
Yeah, it's creamy. That's Mom trying to video message me. Aw. Oh my gosh, sorry.
No, you're fine. I didn't know if it was mine or what. So I want to draw an outline. And well, I'm gonna do this upside down. So forgive me if it's not perfect. Okay. Oh, perfect. Yeah. Oh, so I'm sorry. The one thing I didn't get to say that you don't have to have a variety of brushes. You don't have to have every brush to create really great finishes. So when I first started painting and I got my first Klingon brush, I couldn't afford to invest very much in my paint or my brushes. And so I had one Klingon brush, an 040 Klingon brush, and I used that brush for everything. I used it to blend, I used it to paint, I used it to prime, to glaze, and to top coat. I used it for everything. And then as I slowly built up like a little side fund for brushes and that, I invested in more. So you don't have to have everything, just slowly work up. If you were gonna get two, I would recommend the S50 and the S30 Klingon brush. Those are my most favorite. You can go to my website, appleblossomway.com, and you can find the Klingon brushes there. Make sure you use the code ART to give you guys 10% off. And I'm only offering this for this class, so it's special for you guys. Okay, so I'm gonna try something a little bit different. I thought this would be kind of fun. I've actually never done this, but in my mind it's gonna work. So we're just gonna try it. So I'm gonna do kind of like a, is it mandala?
Yeah, mandala. Oh my
Yeah.
God, I love that you're just trying something right now in front of all these lovely people.
Yep, that's just what you gotta do, man.
Just do it.
In my head, it's gonna work out real nicely, so.
So I feel like it's going to.
So I am just drawing this just to get the design in. You could probably do it with a pencil or something, but I want to have the basic outline of it. And I really just wanted to show you guys to let you know that you can do different things. It doesn't have to be rusty or distressed. It can be very precise as well. Okay. We'll just finish up right here. Okay. So now I have kind of just a little design drawn on my purse. And I'm going to take the backs. So I just have these little tiny paint brushes. I'm going to use the end of them so I can have like a little dot design. And then we are just going to go ahead and use our colors here and create some dots. So let's see if I can adjust this so you guys can, I don't know why that light is being so stubborn, but when I start to apply the dots, I think the camera's gonna pick that up a lot better. So we'll just set it here. Okay, so I'm just gonna do a little bit of the rock steady. These are gonna take longer to dry, so if you're gonna do dots or raised texture, allow them to dry for a while before you distress or do anything or sand back. Oh, that's such a cool bright pink.
Ooh, you go, girl.
So you can do anything you want, any style.
Are there any questions that we didn't get to? Please type them in now so we can make sure we answer all your questions.
Okay. We'll add just a little bit of blue. And then, you know, something like this, it really, like you could spend all day adding a lot of detail into a piece like this.
You could get super zen with it too.
Yeah, I feel like something like this is very therapeutic.
Mm-hmm.
Especially now. I think we need that mindfulness and that calmness in our lives a lot more, especially now, even than we used to. Just with everything that's going on.
I totally agree. I think everyone would agree. Having a bit of a moment, calm moment for yourself is great.
Yes, totally. Okay, I'm gonna do 2 more dots and I'm gonna wrap it up. Now, I can leave this design very precise and I can keep going with it. So I can keep going and I can cover the entire back if I want to, or I can let it dry and then I can add some glazing. I can add metallic, I can add the rust or anything like that. So kind of think about, you know, what you would like your finished product to look like. So I've got my black and white and then a little bit of color on the back. It's like business in front, party in the back. And I'll add more to that as we go. Okay, so I'm just gonna check your questions that you guys have. Take off my gloves. Okay, let's see. So let me just go back and make sure I'm not missing anything. The S50 and the S30 are the brushes that I would recommend starting with. The 035 or the 040 is also an awesome brush. They will last you forever. They are phenomenal brushes. I would not sell them if I didn't love them, and I use them. I seriously use them almost every single day for years. Okay. But if you see when you like better, you have questions, you can ask me. Also, if you go to my website, I have a blog and I have an entire blog on Klingon brushes. And so you can go and read all about that. I have a blog on surf prep sanders, videos, lots of information, and all of my discount codes are on there as well. So you can go to my site and my blog and you can look up all that information if that's easier for you. Okay, let's see. So anytime you use a transfer on fabric or leather, I would recommend using the Crystal Clear enamel spray or a fabric sealer. That's crystal clear, one or the other. And then once that's on there and it's dried, you can use the salve if it's like a leather type. If it's a fabric, I probably wouldn't use the salve on it unless you've completely painted the fabric. I've done it on chairs, and then I will kind of sand it to make it smooth, and then I'll use the salve to seal that on fabric chairs. The only difference with painting fabric and leather is you saw when I painted this, it was clean and it's ready to go. So I went ahead and applied the paint directly. If I'm going to do a fabric chair, a fabric pillow or something like that, you want to have your spray bottle and you want to get the fabric wet. So I lightly mist the spray bottle. I'm sorry, I lightly mist the fabric first, and then I'll apply a thin coat of the base color on. I'll let it totally dry. I'll kind of just fine sand it to make sure that it doesn't have any clumps, and then I'll put another coat on and I'll just add a little bit of water into that second coat. That way you're working the paint into the fabric and it's almost staining it. Instead of the paint sitting on top of the fabric, you're working it into the fabric. So it's gonna last a lot longer. It's gonna feel much better to the touch, and it will look better too.
Oh my God, are you reading what Regina just wrote? Regina, yay.
I'm still going down.
Oh my
Let's see.
God, yay, good, good. I'm so happy, Regina. Regina is happy with her class.
Yay!
She said she's tried everything, mostly user error. That's cool. And I love, so you're saying you've tried about 30 handbags? Oh no, she said she's tried transferring a few and had mixed results. I wasn't going to take this class thinking I've seen it all. Well, Chelsea, you've changed my life. Yay! Doesn't that feel good?
I'm so glad. I'm so glad. That makes me happy. Sometimes it is. Sometimes it's about like hit or miss or making errors and figuring out what works best, because you can have the best products, but depending on the project, it might not work as well. So I like that. I think I'm glad that it was helpful to you. And
Well, don't you
now
think
that you're-
also, Chelsea, isn't sealing a project like its own little animal? Like you really need to figure out the best way to seal a project if you want it to last.
Yeah, definitely. So for leather, I love the salve on leather. It's amazing. It's the way to go, honestly. If you're doing a transfer, you need to use something like this. On furniture, I like using Wisel varnish because it is very durable, it's long lasting, and you can clean it and you don't have to reapply it. So it kind of just depends on the look and style you're going for. But let's see. And you guys go have a purse party. Like get there with your friends, have a shoe party, have a purse party, you know, and make it something fun. And if you can't get together, do it virtually like we're doing now. And I think that would be really fun. Yeah, the code is art. So ReDesign with Prima goes through a different link, my affiliate link, and I don't have a discount code through the Prima link, but as far as Wisel, Klingon, Salt Wash, all of that, you can use code ART for a discount. Serve Prep also gives a 10% discount, which is Apple Blossom 10, and that's also on my website to link over there as well. So that will help.
So just so you guys know, the reason there's not a discount code for Prima is because Prima is not a retailer. Chelsea is on there as an affiliate because she is a brand ambassador, but Prima doesn't sell retail, ReDesign. The only thing Prima sells retail is the art philosophy, which you guys did get a coupon code for. So that's why we can't do that, because it's not fair to the retailers. So Chelsea has a link, so she's totally welcome to do her link, but there's no way to discount it, right, Chelsea, through your link?
There isn't, but all the other products you can use that.
Yes.
Well, can we see? Do we get to see everyone's purses?
Yes. Are you guys ready? If I had
I want
trouble,
to see them.
let's see. Regina said if I had trouble with country chic clay-based paint sticking to the bags.
So paint does make a difference. The paints, honestly, my go-to paints for fabric or purses is Wisel chalk synthesis paint. I've painted many chairs, I've painted pillows, I've painted shoes and bags and everything. And it really adheres well. I absolutely love it. I've never used country chic clay-based paint, so I can't speak for that. But I have used that, and I've also used fabric paint. So there is a fabric paint, and that's great too. But I find that I like Wisel better, and then I can use the additional paint on other projects. So it's
Okay.
preference.
So, whoops, let's see. I'm going to go ahead. First of all, hold up your bag, Chelsea, so that I can take a screenshot for the
Which one? This one?
whichever one you want, whichever bag you want. Hold up that white one too.
Okay, hold on. I'm just gonna grow some more arms real quick.
Yeah, do that. Just throw them all in front of you. Okay, ready? No, keep your face out. This is going on Facebook where people will post they will post their pictures on there of what they've created. And it looks like we have people already ready to show us their goodness. So Michelle Gardner, I'm going to get you in here right now. And Michelle, go ahead and turn on your camera. Hi, Michelle.
Hi. Are we good?
Yeah, what'd you make? What'd you make?
Oh, I love it.
Ooh.
I added the hardware there.
Okay, that is cool.
I like this side better, actually.
Oh, I
The
like
painting
that.
and distressing.
Okay, your fading with your carbon is beautiful. It's gorgeous.
Oh, thank you.
I love it.
Yeah. So
It's really cool. I love it. Wow. So do
I'll probably,
you feel confident?
pardon me?
Do you feel confident in the painting of that purse?
I was struggling with it, but I think I got it now.
Hmm.
Like I said, first side not as good. Should have started on the back because I really like the back better.
It's beautiful.
And then I'll find some funkiness for the strap too. I agree. I don't like this either.
Yeah. I love it.
But
It's
thank
so
you.
pretty. You're welcome.
I
Thank
love
you.
that the strap, thank you, Michelle. I love that the strap is a way to personalize it more, right?
Yeah.
Lisa, you're coming in.
I'm trying to.
Hold on, I haven't got you in yet. Hold on. Okay, Lisa, hang on.
I have some questions. I did not like the way I did my shading.
Okay.
So, and I've already put the salve on it. But I thought, well, I'll try something. So I started sanding. Let's see. I started sanding and sand some of it off, and I like the way it turned out. This
Okay.
is the place I left to show how, but here is the sanding part over here, showing that a lot of it came off. And I did the metallic with you, and I did not like the way it turned out. So I'm going to work on it and try to sand some there too. And I accidentally didn't realize what side, and I was on the back side. So I have not done, I stopped it when we painted it, and I haven't done anything else to it. So I'm going to do this front side and see if I can do better about the shading.
That's perfect. See, so you've had somewhere to practice, and now you know what you like and you don't, and you know how to fix it. I love it.
My bottom, I did the charcoal. And
I like that.
like it. And I've already put the salve on it. So, but some of this color from underneath is coming through, and I like that too.
Mhm.
If you can tell with that.
Because you have the dark, it was dark, right?
Um,
It was kind of brown before you painted it.
yes, it was the brown.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm going to work and finish it and see what it turns out.
I love it.
Thanks, I appreciate it.
As
Thank
you
you.
practice, you'll get better technique, Lisa, and it'll be awesome. I can't wait to see it.
Oh yeah,
Thank you.
thank you.
All right, so Mindy, you're up. Go ahead and turn on your camera.
Hello.
Hi, Mindy.
So I
Ooh.
started with the 1987 in the middle section, and I didn't really care for it. So I went over it with the iron oxide, and then did the what is it? The carbon. I did the blending with that. So it's not perfect, but I like it.
I love it. Those colors look so good, especially with that metallic. It's just golden. I
Yeah,
love
I
it.
really like it. I don't know if I'm
That's
going to
awesome.
keep the handle or get something different, but yeah, I like it. And I don't like using purses, but I'm excited to use this one. So
Good. I'm glad.
I like
thank
it.
you.
Thank you. Thanks, Mindy. All right, Regina, you're up next. Hold on a second. Regina, I am so happy for you. How are you?
Good. This was so fun.
I like where you put your stencil.
I made a new apron. I loved this. I mean, so I wasn't loving the brownish for me.
Mhm.
So then I switched to the gold like you had done. Can you see that?
Yes, I love that.
And then I painted the top more gold, and then I didn't like that, so I put a silvery metallic.
I like that.
And then on the back, I put the gold on the top.
That's pretty. I love that gold against the carbon. It's pretty.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I didn't have the carbon. Mine was frozen.
Oh yeah. Oh shoot. So did you
Where
use
are
black?
you, Regina? Where are you again?
I'm in Massachusetts.
So is it really, it's really cold there, right? That you
Oh
think it
yeah,
was,
but these were perfect.
I know, but somehow on the FedEx truck, it just said, no way, man.
These
And
were beautiful. And then the carbon was, oh yeah, let me show you, just make sure. I thought I had a film. I thought there was a film that I had to peel off.
Uh-huh.
But then when you really look, it's just solid.
Wow.
Oh, it does look like it froze. Darn it. That's the bad thing about the mineral paints is they're all natural, and so that can happen. Well, with any paint it can happen, but it's hard in winter.
Right. Especially up here. So
Yeah.
really, thank you. I wasn't going to take this class. I'm like, oh my God, I have 30 purses here that I bought wholesale that I was that was going to be my great money maker doing all the transfers. But the line of paint I have, because my friend carries it, Country Chic, I swear I painted it on. I let it 48 hours sometimes, waited, put a transfer on, and it pulled the paint right up.
Whoa.
Like, how many bags could I ruin? So I gave up. I put it all on hold, but now I'm so excited.
I'm so glad.
You know why, Elena? Because I'm so on a watercolor painting high from the first class. I'm like, I am painting, I am making note cards now. I am like going crazy.
Oh, those are great.
I'm doing words, but then you struck me. I'm doing words with flowers. When you said to paint on the purses with other designs, I'm like,
yes,
bingo, there we go.
Use the watercolor techniques you learn and paint on that purse. And I promise, like I feel like you're onto something and you're gonna create something that you're gonna love. That's cool. I can't wait to see what you do.
And my best friend's turning 60 in March, and I would love to make something totally unique for her. So
yeah,
okay,
that's
Regina,
awesome.
Regina, I'm turning 50 in December, and you can send me those cards.
Okay, oh, you bet, they're coming.
Bye.
Thank you so much. Bye, guys.
Thank you. Oh my God, that looked awesome. Are you kidding me? Stephanie, you're up.
Hi, how are you?
Hi, hold on a second. Hang on. Hold on. Okay, how are you?
I am good. So this is mine, and we have a jewelry bar here in the studio, so I did a charm on there. It says follow your dreams. I don't know if you can see it or not.
Okay, that's so rad.
And then I did a charm, and then I just kind of added gold everywhere. But it was fun. I learned a lot of new things. So we are a retailer also for Prima. So this is my sample purse for transfers that we have up in the studio. And but I never thought of doing the stick and style stencils, and we have them here. So it was great. So I learned a lot.
I'm so glad you can have a purse party.
Yeah, we do it with the transfers, and I'm like, oh, now we can do this because not everyone likes the transfers. So
right,
because most of them are floral, so not everybody likes that. So this was fun. It was a blast.
I'm glad.
And I've never used Wiseau because we do Paint Couture and Dixie Belle here. So Wiseau was new to me. So that salve, it smells awesome.
Yeah, I know. It's so yummy.
I might keep smelling it.
Use it on your hands.
Yeah. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Stephanie. And you know what's so cool is, oh geez, seriously, I just lost my train of thought. Anyway, so cool. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Bye, Stephanie.
Bye.
Oh, dang. What the heck was I just going to say? All right. brain fry, like, I
That's
don't know,
me every day.
8 hours of classes later, you know? Okay, let's see. Barbara, how are you?
Oh, I love it.
Look at that. Do you love it? You did so good with your blending, your shading.
I think she's on mute.
Oh, Barbara, I can't hear you. Sorry.
This is the front,
I love
and this is the back. And this is the bottom. But I haven't put the salve on it. I'm gonna let it dry. So
I
it
love
was a fun class. I love doing it. You know, the purse was so beautiful. And then I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I don't want to paint it, but it's really gorgeous. So I love it.
Yay.
And it's unique and it's you. I love
Thank
it.
you, Chelsea.
You're welcome.
Love it. Thanks,
Thank
Barbara.
you. Thank you.
Okay, let's see. Next is Terry Franklin. Come on in, Terry.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi. I kind of just did it pretty normal for the first time. I didn't do too well with the chevron, but
I love it.
it'll get better. And so I did gold, you know, distressing on the front, and I just did it
I love that.
there, but wish I had done the sides, but I didn't think about it. But I probably still can.
Yeah, you can still do it for sure. I love it. I love that you did the one design on the front and the other on the back. That's so cute.
Tells me I'm going to be buying bags now. And one of the first women had showed like a wing, one of the Finnabair wings there. So I'm thinking maybe I have this plate. It's a metal plate, and it says "Be true to yourself." So
Oh, I love that.
that might work there. But Chelsea, thank you so much. This class has been wonderful, and I can't wait to buy some stuff and get to work on some purses.
I'm so glad. Thank you for joining us. It's beautiful.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
I can see Terry doing more than just purses.
Oh my God.
It's
I don't know where all these supplies are going. I swear to God, but I loved it.
Thank you.
That's the point of our adventure. And thank you, Elena.
You're welcome. We'll talk to you soon. Bye. So funny. Yep, that is what happens when you do art venture. Okay, Carly, you're coming in. Okay, Carly, hold on. How are you? It's a little dark.
Yeah, and I have the light on in here, so I'm sorry about that.
Okay, there you go. That's a little bit better.
Yeah, you can kind of see. But I didn't salve yet, so I don't feel like all the colors are popping or looking, you know, beautiful like they should. I like to let my paint sit a little bit before I salve. So, and I didn't change the way that you designed it because, Chelsea, it's beautiful the way you designed the colors and put everything together. That's why I wanted to do it. I'm like, oh my gosh, I love that person. I want that.
Oh, I'm glad.
And I just get a little shading on the back just to kind of, but that is something I've never really done before with those colors. So I'm super excited to use that on other things. You're one of the very first people I ever started watching when I started doing furniture. So, I mean, I've watched you from the beginning of my furniture painting world. So I just love you. I love everything that you show me something different, and every video that you do, you're amazing.
Thank you. You made my whole day. That's so odd. That makes me happy. And it's funny because I had 6 different colors and I sat there and I laid them out and I laid them out and I kept going back and forth and I painted 4 different purses and I was like, this is it. These 3 colors, they can use them on different things. And so I'm so glad that you love it. That makes me happy. Thank you for sharing that.
You know, I kind of felt bad for Cece yesterday. I feel like all the artists that she may be the one that had the hardest job to put a package together, only because she uses so many different things.
Oh yeah.
Project, and I know her personally, and I'm just thinking, oh man, that must have been a really hard struggle for her. I felt bad yesterday after she put some florals on something. Everybody's going, I didn't get florals. I didn't get, but I thought, oh goodness. But I love what you put together. It's amazing. I love Wise Owl. Their salve is awesome. Everything about them. I love the Prima redesign. I mean, it's great. This was a fun class. Thank you so much.
I'm so glad. Thank you for joining it.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you, Carly. Okay, let's see. We have Nancy. All right, Nancy, you can turn on your camera.
Didn't.
Oops. Try it again, Nancy.
Didn't see my camera this time.
Try it one more time.
I'm just looking for my camera. I don't know why, but they don't appear.
It was there and then you went away.
Yeah.
It looks like a video camera.
Yes, I know it's working this afternoon, but not now.
Oh, I'm sorry. Here, let's try taking you out. Oh, there it is. Okay. Hi, Nancy.
Hi. I didn't follow the rules because I don't have all the sample the kit, but I made with the impasto paint and the sparks too that I mix together to do the
Okay.
And the
That's
back,
beautiful.
I keep it very simple, and I will have a little bit gold wax there just to fit with the.
It's so good. Is it this? Is it this one?
No, it's Cornell. This one.
Oh, that's so pretty. I love that.
Thank you.
Thank you,
awesome.
Nancy.
You're welcome. Have a nice evening.
Have see you later. Bye-bye. Very pretty. Okay, Denise, you're coming up. And if anyone else would like to come in and show us their beautiful purses, Denise, go ahead and turn on your camera. You can raise your hand. Otherwise, please post pictures of your purses. I'm just putting the post up on Facebook and where you can post your pictures. Are you there, Denise? Is it Denise we're waiting for? Denise, you need to turn on your camera. Okay, I hear you. No? Denise. Okay, I'm not seeing Denise, but I'll show mine. Okay, so I went all black.
Oh,
and I tried doing, okay, so I tried doing black on black, but it's pretty not showing up that much, right?
It's freaking awesome.
Kind of like a shadow.
I want to paint another one like that.
Then I went like this on the other side. So I'm probably gonna gold. I don't know. I feel like if I gold over the whole thing that the little black on black's not gonna show, but I don't know. I haven't solved it yet, obviously. And I'm gonna get some gold on there with that thing. I painted the leather thing gold. Anyway, that was exactly what I wanted to learn. I'm super excited. Denise is there. Let's let Denise in. But you like it?
Hey, wait 1 second. If you put a gold chain on that purse,
I know, right?
I'm just saying.
This needs, yeah.
It's amazing. I love it.
The strap needs to go, but kind of fun. kind of fun.
It's awesome.
I like it. All right, Denise, come on in. How are you? Oh, go ahead and unmute yourself, Denise. There you are. There you are. Hi, Denise.
Okay. Am I on?
Yes.
Hi. So I did not use the carbon at all. I used 1987 and the iron oxide. And then of course my metallic.
It came out. I mean, I love those colors together without the black.
Mm-hmm. That's amazing.
Yeah, and I did the front and back all in the arrows.
I love it. Isn't that crazy how it changes it? It's beautiful.
It's
yeah, I'm happy with it.
Yeah. Came out really good.
I love
Your
it.
arrows look really good.
Well, I've done a bit of stenciling before.
They're beautiful. It's beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you, Denise. Have a great night.
You too.
Okay, so that was awesome. How are you doing, Chelsea? Are you tired?
No, Skylar's trying to get food in the kitchen. He dropped something on the floor and he was really embarrassed, so I was laughing at him.
Always fun.
I know.
Always fun. Yeah. So I feel like, thank you, Stephanie. She said that is so cool, Elena. Thank you. If anyone else wants to come on, please let me know. But otherwise, this is the first time taking this type of class and I loved it. Chelsea, thank you for all the great tips and techniques. Okay, like I can't wait to get my paint done. I have so many things I want to paint. I can't even tell you. So,
Yeah.
Jean Sarna said she was ready, but I don't see her raised hand.
Jean did?
She
Jean,
typed
do
it
you
in
want,
the.
oh, there she is. Okay, we got one more. Here you go, Jean.
This is the best part. Like, this is so much fun for me.
I know.
This makes it all worth it.
I know, this is the best part. I
To
love
see all of it.
love seeing everyone's stuff. All right, Jean, I just, you can turn your camera on.
Camera should be on, isn't it?
I can hear you, but I can't see you.
Uh-oh. It's on my camera. Uh-oh. Not sure what's wrong with the camera. Oh, here, start video. There it is. Okay, now it should be.
There you are. Hi, Jean.
Here we go. I like asymmetrical, so I went past the center with that. And I wanted a little bit of this to go around. I'm going to continue around a little bit more on the back. So it's asymmetrical. And I did basically the right color underneath it to change it up a little bit. So
That's amazing. Like, I want to go paint another purse and make it look like that. I love it. It's so good.
Well, I need to go back and clean up my little arrows a bit. They're not as neat as I'd like them, but I think I can touch them up tomorrow after it's totally dry. I haven't put any salve or anything on it. So
Yep.
I'll go and clean it up and go from there. But
It's
I've
amazing.
always been an asymmetrical kind of person, so that works for me.
I am too. I totally am. And I love what you did. It's beautiful.
Thank
Got
you.
some nice
Well, it
shading.
was kind of fun to do the shading, and I hadn't worked on leather before, so that was kind of fun.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Thank you, Jean. Nice to see you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay, let's see. We got one more here. Julie. Okay, Julie. Okay, Julie, go ahead and start your video. All right. Hi, Julie. Go ahead and unmute yourself. You can't unmute yourself. There's no audio. Okay, show us your purse. Oh, look at you. Different stencil. Can you hold it up higher? Hold it up higher. Ooh, those
Oh,
flowers.
that is so beautiful. Okay, where did the feather design come from?
It's a stamp.
It's so awesome. Oh my gosh, it's amazing. Oh, that's cool.
Oh my God, my lip reading is not that good, Julie.
I can't read it either, but I can see it and it's
well,
amazing.
anyway,
Like,
yeah.
Can I give you my address? You can ship it. It's so
Post
good.
pictures. Julie, post pictures in the Facebook group, okay? That thing is awesome.
Yes.
Thank you. Bye. Okay, so fun. Yeah.
Hey, was that not cool?
I know,
Like,
everybody did so good.
But not only did they do good, like they were all completely different, unique, and beautiful, and they took the original design and they put themselves into it, and that's so freaking awesome.
Yeah.
It was good. They were good.
Super fun. So if anyone else wants to come in, but otherwise, thank you guys so much for the end of week 3. I got one more week to go. Woohoo! But thank you, Chelsea. You are a fountain of information. Me and you, I mean, I'm going to talk to you again, but I tell you what, I've got things to paint, so I'll be hitting you up for questions. And you and CC did so great representing redesign. Mark Montano too, he did redesign stuff also. But we want to sprinkle in redesign classes with the mixed media classes, because even though, you know, most of these people are, you know, most of Prima's people are mixed media.
Right.
But, you know, the redesign stuff totally applies. So to learn the techniques is fantastical. So,
Totally.
Yeah.
I love it. And you know what? This was totally unexpected, and I love it. Like, that was so fun. I'm so glad you guys asked for a stencil and stuff. Like, that was fun.
It is so pretty. Sorry, Hitomi, what were you saying?
Were those stamps that you used, the big giant letters, those are Prima?
On this one?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. These are the alpha stamps from ReDesign with Prima. Sorry. Yes, and I think that's a great way to, if you're going to sell the purses, like if you have a shop or something, you're going to sell them and design them, I think it would be awesome to put like your initials of your business on them, for sure. Because I feel like they're unique, they're one of a kind, so why not? It's just like a signature.
Yes.
Thank
well,
you.
Thank you all. Thank you guys so much. Chelsea, thank you for teaching us so many good things. I'm going to finish this bag up and then I'm going to solve it. And yeah, that solve smells so good. Like I just put it on my hands because I've washed my hands so many times today with all the painting we've done. So much painting.
Hey, but also, I didn't say this, but the salve is antimicrobial and antibacterial. So it's really great to use right now. Like instead of hand sanitizer, wash and use that, and it's awesome. So it's great.
As much as we are washing our hands right now, like on a daily basis, when you stick the alcohol, you know, spray your hands with the alcohol or the hand sanitizer, it dries you right. I mean, seriously, I could sand the purse. I could be surf prep. I could sand the purse with my fingertips. They're so dry. So
I know, it's so true. You're right.
Fair. So thank you guys so much. I'm so glad you enjoyed it. Tracy in Kansas, thank you. Julie, yeah, you too, right, Tracy? Like so many dry. Thank you, Julie. Thank you for enjoying the class. Thank you guys for joining us. Thank you, Stephanie, Jean. It's always fun. And then we'll see you guys next week. I know it's so weird when we don't see you guys all week, but everybody keeps posting in the group, Chelsea. So I did a post. It says, student, post your pictures here. And there's a screenshot of you and I with your 6 purses that you like.
With my giant armful.
Your bag lady picture.
I love it.
So that's up there. So you're ready to go. Post your pictures, you guys. Can't wait to see.
Yeah,
All right.
I want to see. Thank you guys so much. Thank you, Elena. Appreciate
Thank you,
it.
Chelsea. We'll talk to you soon.
Okay,
Bye.
see ya.
Thank you.